The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your SuperChats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Today, we're breaking down the Jets' new franchise. I'm just kidding. But Bailey Zappi was signed to a futures contract. We might mention that, and we're talking all things Jets with BT. Brandon Tierney, he joins us. Let's hit it and get it started.
I let the organization down, and I let the players down, and that burns me. It really does. This season's on me, and we're going to work our ass off to get this shit exactly where it needs to be.
A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super Chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. We are presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Before we bring on our special guest, again, thank you to everyone who came out yesterday. Our first ever non-Jets watch party. We had over 50-something people show up to watch the Jags-Bills game at T-Squared Social. So if you were there, thank you. If you weren't there, there's more to come. So be on the lookout for more information about future watch parties and a draft party with the Jets, of course, having 2 picks in the top 16. With that, we say hello to someone I really respect, admire, love his work ethic, and now you can check him out every day on YouTube talking sports, including the Jets. He's one of our own, a fellow diehard Jet fan. BT, Brandon Tierney, joins us now. Brandon, can't thank you enough for a couple minutes today. What's going on?
No, I'm looking forward to it, man. By the way, pretty good production value. Look at you. Look at you getting it all nice and lined up. Nice, man.
People would have no idea that this is just a giant bed sheet behind me, and it's just a small, tight New York City apartment. Shout out to Gator McCluskey's my video guy who does so much of what makes this show the show. So appreciate the kind words.
Yeah, you got it, man. What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
I mean, let's talk some Jets. I mean, where are you at with this team right now? I think we differ on the head coach, but overall going into this offseason, are you more on the optimistic side because of the resources they have, or how are you feeling about this team looking at what's to come?
Oh, man, it's funny. I generally skew a little optimistically. I don't mean after a loss. I mean bigger picture. No matter who the GM is, no matter who the coach is, even though Woody's presence is obviously always an issue. But when the offseason comes, especially this offseason and next offseason, you got to feel pretty good about at least the chances for the Jets to add some legitimate talent. Now, Jake, the difference here is still no quarterback, but every other time they've tried to reboot this, they didn't even have an offensive line. So I could at least say, pragmatically, strip away the emotion, not getting revved up like we've all gotten over the years about this loser franchise, and looking at it and saying, all right, I mean, the hardest thing to do is get a quarterback. Still looking. Second hardest thing probably is to get the O-line, especially for them, which has proven elusive forever. So I think they're one away, whether you bring back Vera Tucker, whether Simpson's gone, whatever, there's a machination or two that you could tweak there. But I think it's a real strength of the team. And I really think that Muji in the early goings, much more than Aaron Glenn, and you're right, we differ on Aaron a little bit, which I know we'll get into. But Muji has shown some signs of number one, having pretty good instincts, number two, being pretty bold. And I'm seeing some qualities which has really been, elusive for the Jets here in terms of having a modern general manager. There's a modern way to do business now, whether it's Stearns with the Mets or some other GMs in baseball and obviously football. We're now at the point where a lot of these decision makers are products of Madden and making trades and wheeling and dealing. I know that sounds crazy, but it really is. And that's why you see the trade deadline, more and more activity, like those older, reticent, personnel people. I can't do anything during the season. No, if it's good for the team, we're doing it. So Muji has shown me that their talent base besides the O-line is absolutely deplorably, sickeningly bad. So they got miles to go, but I'm a little optimistic, as crazy as it sounds.
Look, they have a tremendous amount of resources. I guess where I really struggle, Brandon, is just looking at the playoffs over the weekend, just seeing what it takes from a coaching standpoint to just get there in the first place. And even if you have the quarterback, if you don't have the coach to go with them, we've just seen how that could look. Like Drake May and Caleb Williams, they were on their respective teams a year ago. I mean, Bo Nix, is that more Sean Payton or is that, more Bo Nix? I think people lean with the coach. So there's so many examples of that. And I guess where I struggle is I used to be like you, I was always the optimistic Jet fan. People would say, you're a shill, you're a homer. Now I'm viewed as the negative guy because I just have so little faith in this head coach. And we've seen if you don't have the coach, it doesn't matter how much talent you put on the roster, you're just not going to be able to overcome that.
Okay, I hear you. Now let me go back to something that I go back to that helps shape my opinion on whether I think Aaron Glenn could eventually grow into the role of being, first, let's hope he's competent. Then let's hope he's good. Then let's hope he's really good. Then let's hope he's championship good. So I get it, man. There's a lot of floors before we get to the penthouse. We're in the basement and we're in the, I get it. But to me, a first-year rookie coach, even though he's not young, but he's a rookie or he was a rookie, were the Jets ready to play the season? Were the Jets ready to start the season? And I think the answer universally is yes. Like they could have beaten the Steelers. They could have beaten the Bucks. That opening drive against Miami, they flushed it 99 yards down their throat. They knew who they were. They had an identity. All right, Braylon Allen fumbles. He gets hurt. That changes some stuff. Obviously, Fields was awful, blah, blah, blah. We don't need to relitigate everything. But as a starting point, because if you're ready to start the season, then that tells me that you had a pretty buttoned up OTAs and off-season workouts and a training camp that was meaningful, that at least put you in a position to be competitive. Now, Steelers are a playoff team. We know that. Obviously there's a dearth of talent everywhere for the Jets, but at least as a very broad and loosely translated assessment of Aaron Glenn, I watched the team the first half that was a whole hell of a lot better than the team that was in the second half. And even with Q and with Sauce, they didn't have any good, like their third levels, their secondary stinks, man. And now you get rid of Gardner, who was overrated anyway, and Williams, who I think was getting a little fat on the farm last couple of years with the contract, not quite as dominant as he once was. So I have no problem getting rid of those guys, but at least they were above average, certainly NFL players. Then you take them away. Now you got backups who are starting, backups to backups who should be on the taxi squad, who are now playing because of injuries. Like, I don't know what people expected from Aaron Glenn, certainly the last month, but even before that. What do we expect?
I noticed you skipped the Bills game in there. Now, week 2, no show at home. First game against a division opponent. All that is fair. I guess what I keep coming back to is, what does he actually do well as a head coach? Like, there's moments you could talk about how they came out ready to play. Like, I will even say, hey, they won after the bye week this year. Small things. But where he loses me is they start the year with a 7-game losing streak. No Jet coach has ever started their tenure losing that many in a row. Kotite and Gase never started worse than 0-4. So it starts there. Then they have this stretch where they win 3 of 5 against 3 backup quarterbacks, and then they end the year losing 5 in a row, and they're the first team to ever lose by 23 or more in those games. And I get it. You could tell me Brady cooked. You could tell me they shut down a lot of guys that could have maybe played if the games matter. But I go to that Dolphins game when they were trying to win. Tyrod started the game, and you're playing a mediocre Miami team in your own building after what happened on Monday night in their place at the beginning of the year. You're down 21-0 before you could blink in a game that you're trying to win. So I like how you were able to bring up positives, because I've been so negative on the show. So it's nice to have a different perspective. But I just worry. It's like, what does he really do well as a coach? He said they're running the Wilkes system. He's a defensive guy. His defenses weren't that good in Detroit. The staff hires on offense. I mean, we have a running backs coach who was our QB coach. That's the guy that is going to be entrusted to coach up Justin Fields. Like, he had never been this bad until he was a Jet. Like everyone knows just how ugly it was. And even with the infusion of resources, like, do we trust his coaching set to develop a Dante Moore if he's the guy, or whoever else they bring in? That's the fear.
Understood. And that's a reality-based fear. I mean, I get that part. I'm not pushing back on that. And I'm not even getting on the top of the mountain saying Aaron Glenn's the guy. No, not even close.
How would you have felt if they did make him one and done?
I would have been okay with that. I would have been okay. No, so I'm not as far in that direction as maybe you thought or others think. I'm just trying to provide context here. That's it. Like, I got no dog in the fight outside of all of us wanting the Jets to ultimately become, competitive. Let's start there.
9-8.
Where we can enjoy our Sundays again. It really is disgraceful. But I want to be fair in the assessments. And listen, I'm not saying that the results wouldn't have been slightly different, but if Mike Vrabel was coaching the Jets in December with Cook, with all the backups playing defense, all right, maybe they're not falling behind 5 touchdowns and getting destroyed and having the worst point differential in December. I'm going to give you that. It would have been better. But would they have won games? And if they would have won games, would it have been more than one? And I feel pretty confident. To me, the answer is absolutely no. Now, where it gets interesting, and this is where it's impossible to separate all the years of Jets torture. And it's very easy to say, like, why do we trust this? And why would Aaron Glenn be able to develop a quarterback? And why would we have faith that he'd now hire a good DC? Those are all good questions. I get it. Wilks was an abominable hire, atrocious, that nobody liked the moment it was announced. That's against Aaron Glenn. Really, and I know that Woody had influence here as well based on his issue with Rodgers, but Aaron Glenn had strong say in who his quarterback was going to be this year. You want to get rid of Rodgers? Okay, that's fine. I can get behind that full rebuild. That's fine. But the guy that you bring in has to play a whole hell of a lot better than Justin Fields was awful. And that's on Aaron Glenn. Another strike. So, listen, I am very acutely aware, even with the $70-something million in free agent money and all the abundance of picks. Like, I know the Jets roster is going to be significantly better next year. I have no doubts about that. But if we're sitting here and we're 1-5 or they're 0-3 and it's non-competitive, you on your show, me on my show, the fan, all the 880, like every radio station, everybody with an X account, everybody's going to be banging away at the keyboard, fire Glenn. And at that point, I'll say, yeah, at that point, you're probably right. But to really come up with a true evaluation as a coach, I've got to at least give him a chance to go into a game where he's got a chance. And the first half of the season, outside of the Bills game and the Dallas game, they were pretty competitive. They were very competitive every single week. Now, that expires now. Like, that's not good enough for next year. I don't want to hear that next year. But, maybe I'm getting a little softer in my grading. I don't think I am as I'm getting older. I just knew that he was in December. Dude, that roster was a D-. It was awful. You didn't even have Garrett Wilson.
Totally fair. Totally fair. And here's I think the problem, right? And look, the schedule, you never know when you play teams, all that. They play the NFC North next year. They got the AFC West. Yep. It is like set up for this team to start 1-5, and then the Jets are the Titans of this year, where Brian Callahan gets dinged, and Aaron Glenn's career record after a 1-5 starts 4-19. They get rid of him, and my fear is, are they going to let this guy pick Dante Moore second overall or Ty Simpson, whatever the plan is? If we all have this feeling that if they get off to a bad start, he could be gone. To me, you just rip the Band-Aid off now and try and get an offensive coach, even if it's someone who's never done it before. At least it's an offensive guy to develop the quarterback. My big fear is we're the Titans, and this next year is just a wasted year for all of us.
Well, you could be right. Where I would push back, though, is like, I don't just want a guy because he's an offensive guy. When the Jets move on from Glenn, I want the guy who's won, who happens to be an offensive guy.
Right, experienced guy, sure.
You know what I'm saying? I know what you're saying as a concept. Like, hey, why do we keep going the DC route? Geez, I mean, try something different, guys. It's the modern NFL. You might want to join it at some point here, where it's not a race to 17 points, it's a race to 30. Like, anytime you guys want to join the modern party, be real nice. But I think that the next move, whenever that is, it's got to be a massive, powerful swing here. And the other thing too, Jake, just to get back to something that you said, where like, what's the tangible stuff? Like, and there's not much outside of saying they were ready to play the first 8 or 9 games, whatever it was.
0 field goals blocked all year.
Yeah, I know. No interceptions, which is that's ludicrous, dude. But I will say, and I know this because I see a lot of your stuff. I followed your career. You're doing a great job, by the way. You really are.
Well, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
I know that you know what you're talking about, and I know that you know this. So there are a few tangible things that I could point to. Number one, the penalties went down. Now they went back up a little bit toward the end of the year, but based on where they've been the last couple of years with Saleh, with Ulbrich, there was a tangible uptick in discipline. Number one. Number two, even without the threat of once Garrett Wilson was gone, you didn't have a receiver and you don't have a quarterback. So even with every single team knowing how the Jets are going to try to move the football, they still had a top 10 rushing offense. I mean, you think like there's little things there. Now, yeah, you're a defensive coordinator. I mean, I remember watching Aaron Glenn. I'll never forget this. I'm sitting in my bedroom. I was just out of college. Aaron Glenn houses Dan Marino back the other way down to Miami. I'm like, I love the guy. I remember he had a 108-yard kickoff return against the Colts when it hit the net. Remember that right before the half? Like, sure. This guy, and by the way, it's the special teams influence that he had, which gave the Jets one of the top 2 or 3 special teams in football. So we all know what didn't go well for the Jets this year, which is pretty much everything. But to be fair to every aspect of the conversation, did the Jets show more discipline this year based on penalty decrease? The answer is yes. That's not skewed. That's not twisting numbers. That's factually correct. Was the Jets special teams one of the best in football? Between the punter, yes. The return, yes. Kickoff, punt, yes. And then the rush offense was good. So, like, there are little things that you can extrapolate that could become much bigger things, Jake, with a real infusion of talent. And that's the hope, because this isn't high school. This isn't the Hoosiers movie, 5 passes before you shoot. And if you have a good coach, you can will an average team to heights that they probably don't belong at. In the NFL, if you're going out there with a substandard roster, you're getting your ass kicked and you're getting your face kicked in on a week-to-week basis. I don't care how well coached you are or how buttoned up you are or how tough you are. You got to get some horses. The man had none. He had none.
Yep. Especially when the coach doesn't call plays on either side of the ball. He doesn't have an area of expertise he could really lean into for some sort of strategy advantage. That was my thing with Saleh. As bad as he might have been as a head coach, at least I could point to tangible player development on that side of the ball. I could point to the fact the defense was good. I don't see any of that with Glenn. And I guess the penalties decreased from 31 to 23. But of the teams that were in the top 10 in penalties committed, 5 of them made the playoffs. So even that is not like, I know. Hey, you're more disciplined, you make the playoffs. Like, it didn't matter. Denver is the 3rd most penalized team in the league, I'm pretty sure.
Well, look at somebody like Malachi Moore, right? You like him? He flashed a little bit for us this year?
Sure. Yep.
All right. That's a young player. That's a pick of the new regime.
They get credit for Membu. I think A.Z. Thomas looks like a player if he's healthy.
Absolutely. Yep. Mason Taylor, Membu, obviously the year before, old-fashioned. Like, there are components here where, think about this, like, now, of course, without the quarterback, this means nothing. But let's just say week 1, because I know we'll get to the quarterback spot more, I'm sure, with number 2 and Dante Moore and whatever, Ty Simpson. But I'm not taking a quarterback. Like, I'm just going to cross that bridge quickly, and you take me wherever you want to go after for sure. They're not taking a quarterback this year, in my opinion, unless I don't think they are. So they're going to get a big-bodied 6'3" receiver opposite Garrett Wilson, red zone target, massive catch radius, massive size-speed ratio, which they haven't had basically since Altoon, because Keyshawn wasn't even that fast, as you know. So if you get that guy, and there's 3 of them out there that you get that guy, you get Garrett Wilson, you got Mason Taylor, you got the O-line, you got a couple of runners, even Ruckert's developed into a serviceable backup tight end. At least you got the shell, like the makings of an offense. Then you still have the special teams game going, obviously. But now you've got to get a linebacker who could run, who can make plays. You got to get a corner. You got to get a safety. You got to get an edge rusher. There is so much to get. But crazy as it sounds, because their quarterback play was just, it was as bad as I've ever seen. Poor Brady Cook. The weapons, like the 10 other aspects, it could get pretty good pretty quick. It really could.
As far as what they now do, though, right? I mean, you bring up the quarterback. I joked at the top, the Jets signed Bailey Zappi to a futures deal. He's not the long-term answer, Jet fans. But, hey, okay, Bailey Zappi added to the fold. We know Fields is a goner. Tyrod's a free agent. Maybe he's brought back with a different veteran and they draft someone. I don't know. But we understand they're going to have to completely remake that room. Mm-hmm. They're sitting there at 2. I caught some of your show earlier where you were talking about Dante Moore and the hope being that he would light it up against Mendoza, and we feel a lot better about our options. Yep. The opposite happens. I still think it's likely he declares, because there's some rumblings of Dylan Raiola going to Oregon, which would mean, hey, Moore's going to declare and be a pro. What do you do if you're the Jets? You said you don't think they're going to take a quarterback. I feel like they might be so desperate they have to take a quarterback. Your thoughts on how that all ultimately could play out here?
Oh, God almighty. That's the worst. That's the worst emotion.
Don't you think they sold Woody on the plan when they made at 0-7 or 1-7 when they made the trade of Sauce and Quinnen?
Yep.
Hey, we're making these deals because it's going to lead to a quarterback. We know Woody's obsessed with getting that franchise quarterback. Like, this is like how they sold him on making those deals, because they have these picks and now they're going to get the quarterback and build around them. I just can't see Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn going to Woody Johnson saying, yep, Dante Moore's there. We're not going to take him. I feel like they might almost have to take a quarterback. Maybe not a 2. Maybe they do the Giant thing where they come back into round 1, or the Colts pick and take someone. But I'd be shocked if they don't leave the first round with a quarterback, or very early second round.
Yeah, I guess I'm less committed to doing it at 2. And it's funny, I was saying this, like, there were so many different possibilities I couldn't wait for that Oregon-Indiana game. Like, if Mendoza plays great, but Moore plays great, all right, that's something for the Raiders to think about. If Mendoza plays like ass and Moore plays great, that's something really to think about. Even if Moore played okay and Mendoza played amazing, but Oregon still won, well, maybe if you light up Miami and you win, or he just plays great. Either way, I guess the winning is somewhat insignificant. But if he would have played great on that stage for the championship against Miami in Miami, now you can sit there and say, okay, it's more justifiable. And then the convictions start to come in there. It's not, you're not conjuring up fake enthusiasm for somebody that I just don't think is ready right now. He is too thin. He is too frail. He is too young, and he's too inexperienced. And I am done, Jake. I am done trying to defy years and decades of NFL evidence, even going back to Mark Sanchez, where guys who don't play a lot of football, that you draft them, oh, he's projectability, upside. He can throw it 70 yards on the run at the combine. Oh, he looks great. Oh, he runs a 4.7 40. But I don't care. Can you play? Have you played a lot of football? Have you seen all those things in front of you? Can you diagnose what a defense is trying to do to you? Can you come into a locker room as a rookie, right? And grown men with families and real life concerns, get them to believe that you're the guy to lead them. Zach couldn't do it. Now, I'm not saying that Dante Moore unequivocally cannot. I'll be fair to him. But the chances of him doing that at the age of 20 with very few starts and all the evidence to the contrary of that working, I'm not taking that chance. And let's be honest. You can say, well, what if he wows at the combine? Well, I know it's not McCagnon or Idzik, and I do think Muji's distinguished himself, certainly already more than those guys early. But, at that point, maybe I'll have a little bit of a change of opinion. Like if Muji, because he comes from Peyton, comes from Denver, aggressive mindset, if Muji goes through the whole process and they really think Dante Moore is the guy, I'll get behind it. I'm not going to crush it. I'm not going to say it's unequivocally the wrong decision. It's not what I would do right now. Right now, I would be hoping that the Cardinals, who are probably in that market, no disrespect, but you could draft him, you could sit him, you don't have to throw him out to the Wolves right away. Whereas if he's here and the Jets are 1-5, and whether it's Taylor or Kirk Cousins, whomever is the quarterback, we're going to be screaming and barking at the moon. Let's play the kid. Let's go. Let's see what he's getting. Second overall pick. Let's play. And that will probably be to his detriment, and then we'll just repeat the cycle. I'm basically trying to avoid the same mistakes that the Jets have always made.
But the big problem is, because I agree with everything you just said, and my dream scenario is Moore would declare a team wants him, they could trade out, and then I'll let the new head coach, whoever it is in 2027, because I just don't see a great year in 26. I hope like hell I'm wrong.
Yep.
I'll let that guy make the major decision on quarterback in 27. But my fear is he'll declare, because he has a chance to make all this money, makes sense financially. The Jets will take him. They'll say we have a plan for him. He's not going to play. He's going to sit. But we know how this goes. The second they start to struggle, pressure from the fans yelling for the kid to play. And if we all agree he's not ready and needs to sit, we have faith that Aaron Glenn is not going to pull the lever that Brian Daboll went to. Now, it turned out Dart was ready to go. But, I got to play the young quarterback to try and save my job move. Like, I don't have faith that the Jets would have a real plan where Moore would get the seasoning on the bench he needs before he'd have to go back out there and actually play.
I'm with you, and that's terrifying. And maybe that alone, Jake, to your point, is justification to have a new head coach. That's
a big part of my reasoning for sure.
Understood, and that's a logical way to look at it. Listen, here's the other thing, too. Now, he got a little bit better as the year went on, but can you imagine Aaron Glenn next year? They're 1-5, right, or 0-3, and the point disparity is ugly. Like it's been an ugly 0-3, and he's getting peppered with the questions. Hey, when's Dante going to play? Think about the nonsense he pulled with Justin Fields and Taylor about the quarterback stuff early in the year. You imagine doing that next year, coming off a couple of wins when you have no equity and your season number 2 is already off the rails before you get to October? Like, that is going to be untenable. That's the end. Once that happens, you're done. So, I mean, if we let's say now, okay, so LaFleur is back. That came out today. They'll get the extension done. Let's say the Steelers game tonight. I think the Steelers lose, by the way. I'll put that out there. Let's say it's ugly and they're like, you know what? We love you, Mike, but time to move on. And that's a little trickier than the Harbaugh stuff because you trade whatever. But now that's different. Of course I'm amenable to that. Like if somebody shakes free unexpectedly, whether they're an offensive coach or a defensive coach, I would say, let's go. Get the big boy in the building who's won it and who's won before. And that's why, just to flip it to the G-men for a minute. Now, I think they're going to wind up with Harbaugh. I like Stefanski. I also like Mike McCarthy. Like, I find it interesting. I do. Like, the optics. This is ridiculous because when you look at – so Harbaugh's 63 and McCarthy's 62.
I have the graphic. I know exactly where we go.
Yeah, Here we go. Look at this. It's the same resume.
Exactly.
I mean, 1
It's
year
fat
apart.
shaming. It's because Mike McCarthy's a hefty fella. There's fat shaming going on with him. I'm telling you.
Dude, I agree. I believe a lot of it is the optics. Like John Harbaugh's got that square jaw and he looks like the coach. And yeah, I mean, if I have my preference, I want the guy who looks like the coach more than maybe than the gym teacher or whatever. But the conclusions that are being that people are coming to right now, like they are putting Harbaugh on a stratosphere that's like it's Belichick versus whomever. Like, dude, the gap is insignificant, and we're staring at it right now. So, I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with Harbaugh. I would love Tomlin. There's guys I would love, but for a coordinator or even like a Cliff Kingsbury, no thanks. I'll roll it back once more with AG. And hope for the best.
They didn't even interview McCarthy the last go around, which kills me. And I mean, and Tannenbaum gave Mike Loxley an interview. I kill Mike for that on the radio every Sunday.
I know you guys get after it. You and Mike get a little chippy.
We do. And look, it's a tough spot for him because again, like he's not going to say anything bad about a guy he recommended to to the owner. So it's like the callers really give it to him even worse than I do because we're sick of it, man. It's tough to truly be bought into like this plan. It's like, well, your plan this year was not to go 3-14. I get it. You pivoted, but you started 0-7. That's why you had to do the trades at the deadline in the first place. It's tough. And if they're going to take more at 2, they're going to have to figure out a plan before we even get to the draft with who the quarterback is. I mean, you mentioned Cousins before. Is that a guy you'd be intrigued by? Where are you at with guys like Kyler Murray or you're trading for Mac Jones? And what would be your ideal QB room if they're going to still draft Dante Moore at 2?
Yeah, it wouldn't be Kyler Murray at that point because Kyler Murray is going to be so consumed with reigniting his career, which, by the way, I understand. I get it. He's not at the end. He's kind of in the middle or at least approaching the middle. And his second chapter could be very good. Like I don't want him for the Jets, but Rich Gannon jumped around and bounced around and at the age of 37 or 38, won the MVP with the Raiders, the team that knocked out the Jets in the playoffs in I think that was 02, whatever year that was. And then there's Alex Smith, his first 4 or 5 years was a disaster. Singletary, Niners, first overall pick before the money was kind of repositioned where it was even more punitive if you drafted the wrong guy. Harbaugh comes in. Now, he eventually lost his job to Kaepernick, but he put up big numbers. They won games. He goes to Andy Reid. He wins games, 11 wins. And he completely catapulted himself into the conversation where when you talked about Alex Smith, you had to talk about respect. You had to at least lace it with respect. I think Kyler Murray could find himself in the same boat, but I don't think he's a Super Bowl quarterback. So, I've got to I'm not looking to go halfway at this point, man.
You want Malik Willis? You want to spend big money on him in free agency as an option?
Who's this now? Who's the other
Malik
one?
Willis? Yeah, the Packers backup.
Okay. Now, define big money. Because Malik Willis is somebody that I'm intrigued by. I remember watching him a couple of times at Liberty, one Syracuse night, a Friday night against Syracuse. It was hard to find him in college, but I found him a few times because I knew he was a very intriguing prospect, and I like him. And, he is definitely flash, but define big. I mean, what's big money? $20 million? I mean, $20 million?
The Fields contract, maybe, right? I mean, 2 years, $40 million, $30 million guaranteed. The Fields template. You can thank Glenn and Muji for that one.
I know. I would probably be more, this is going to sound odd because Kyler Murray's better than he is, but I would be okay, I think, more with somebody like Malik Willis, who's already proven to be adaptable, backup, starter, backup. Like he's got that ability to jump to different roles without having, been like the first overall pick and the anointed savior. I think he's probably better wired to deal with the ups and downs of starting, sitting, helping somebody along. So yeah, I've thought about Willis. I would have to look at the money a little bit more, but I'd be okay with that. Really, the measurement is Dante Moore somebody who's going to be a franchise quarterback? And if Muji believes that he is, and he believes that Malik Willis would be good for the room, which I think he probably would be, then I'd be okay with that. I mean, Kirk Cousins, it's totally different style. So you want to try to have guys who are similarly skilled. And Moore is not like Kirk. I mean, Kirk Cousins like a throwback from the 80s. He can't move an inch. And you don't really. So is that ideal? Probably not. But he's a winner and he's tough. And I think he would share his knowledge. So put it this way, Jake, there's better options than Justin Fields. That's a given.
I'll take you out there over another year of Justin Fields. My God. Brandon Tierney is with us. Check out his new YouTube channel, BT Unleashed. He's going live every day. Some super chats we'll get into before we say goodbye to Brandon. And a reminder for those who did not see the first show, our raffle today is a signed Curtis Martin helmet. So make sure you gift a membership or send in a $10 super chat or higher to qualify. This first one here is from Ryed, who's a big fan of yours. He goes, LFG, the Jake BT combo is a wish come true. My two favorite voices talking about the bleak state of this team. And Ryed also followed up. He says, was tuning into FAN earlier. We definitely miss BT. What's it been like to get all this love? Because usually, and like I'm kind of in the crosshairs now with all the Jet fans coming after me for being so negative on the head coach.
Yep.
Usually social media is so negative, but you and Sal got so much praise and love from your listeners. That had to feel awesome.
It did. I'm not gonna lie to you. It really felt good. I mean, it was uplifting. I've talked so much about what I perceive and what I view to be the perils and the downside of social media, but outside of like charitable endeavors for kids, like cancer, raise money, that's where it's amazing there. And the connectivity is fantastic, but it's largely a cesspool of hate. It's anonymous hate. And listen, when I was younger, like when I was just starting out, like if Twitter was like it is now back then, when like in the mid 2000s, I probably would have been more consumed with it, where people taking shots. I've learned to just trust, here's what I believe. And if you guys don't believe it, that's fine. I respect it. There's a couple of different ways to get to the end of the conversation. But listen, it was tough leaving FAN. I've said that many times. I always wanted to be there. You know what it means to the city. It's been here since 87, dude. So to get on the station and more importantly, do a really good job, as I believe Sal and I did, it hurt, and I've said this many times. I would have kept BT and Sal on the air. I think that's the kind of show that you keep on the air, not get rid of necessarily, but I'm not the boss. I don't own the company. Still have a lot of friends in the building, and you got to move on. And I'll tell you this too. Sometimes you need something like that as the impetus to try something new. There's no way. I admit this. And I've taken some risks in my career. My instincts have always generally been pretty good to me, right? They really have. Like, hey, this job in Detroit, it feels like go for it. I did. Or go to Vegas. I did. Or come back home to 1050, a new station. Was there 10 years. It worked out. I did. I really, even with those instincts being what they are and what they were, I would have had the guts to leave a pretty good corporate salary check coming in every 2 weeks where, 2 kids, couple of cars, mortgage, suburbs, college funds and this and that and that. So to almost have me forced into this, while it's a little overwhelming early, it's going to be the best thing I've ever done. I firmly, because I'm going to do it the way I want. But yeah, I mean, BT and Sal was a good show. I love the guy. I love Sal. Easy to work with because he's passionate. And that's all you want. You want somebody next to you who cares as much about the product as you do. And Sal was definitely that. But it was good feeling the love, no question.
Jack writes in, love my man BT. I play the unkillable rant every time I'm going through setbacks. The last time I saw you in person was actually the week after the unkillable rant. You and I were on that trip to Dallas. For the Jets Cowboys game where we got smacked early in that one. That was a fun trip besides the actual game.
That was awesome. Sauce should have had a pick 6.
Yep.
That's when we knew he was never going to make picks for us. I mean, you had to play in the flats. They beat the Bills. I'm like, all right, got a good defense. Come on, Zach. Maybe we could do it here. Of course, we get smoked that game, but it was. I remember the trip well. I remember seeing you there. It was awesome. And it's funny, the unkillable speech, right? So, and I didn't know that it would go this way, but if you think about like I've told people this, but I can't be honest any more than this. When I tell you, I had no idea what I was going to say, man. Zero. I was only working with Sal for a little bit. So if you're with somebody for a long time, you can say, hey, do me a favor, just lay out for a little bit. But it's a 2-man show. It's new. And I said that to him, like, Sal, he's like, go for it. Right. And I had nothing written down. I honestly, it was a 3-minute blur where I never watched the entire thing until I played it on my last show on WFAN on December 19th. I'm like, I got to go out with this, man. Right. And if you really think about it, it wasn't strategic. It was just a visceral reaction to the hurt that this loser franchise inflicts upon us year after. And that was a next level hurt. I mean, I couldn't even speak when I'm sitting on the couch, got the fireplace going, got the food going, Bills Monday night, Rodgers pregame, here we go, defense. Wow. So, I mean, that was a soul crusher. And it really morphed into, it's funny, he said he plays it when things are going wrong. It's really an axiom for life. And think about how disingenuous I would be if this new endeavor and, getting up off the mat after WFAN moved on from me, if I didn't subscribe to what I was ranting that day, then I expect the Jets or Jet fans to subscribe to that unkillable rant. How much of a phony would I be? So I didn't even know it when it was happening, But, it's obviously applicable, as crazy as it sounds, in other aspects of life. There's no doubt.
I love it. I love it. And it's a great rant, and it's true.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
you will see this YouTube thing will be awesome for you. So I'm excited for you.
Thanks,
Mace
sir.
B writes, it's so happy for Saleh. He'll get a head coaching job this cycle.
Yeah.
Rank the 3 worst mistakes he made with the Jets he can learn from and he shouldn't do
Ooh.
in his next job. That's a good question, because I do think Saleh, if he goes to the right team and has the right offensive coordinator, could be a successful head coach. We talked about him earlier. Your thoughts on Saleh, and is there a job out there that would make some sense to answer Mace B's question?
I think there's a couple of jobs that he would do well in. I don't know if I have a list of 3, because so much of it is like personnel dependent and organizational hierarchy structure and all those things that don't really care about now for Team X. I don't even know what team it's going to be. But I would say this about Robert Saleh. He's got to be himself, because the guy that I thought that we were getting, I call him like the bald bull from the Mike Tyson game, jacked, tanned. I remember watching him with the Niners we're seeing it again, going nuts on the sideline like the Incredible Hulk and veins popping, sweating. I'm like, that's the guy I want. I wanted Robert Saleh running the stairs like an absolute beast, yoked. And then he comes here and like on Hard Knocks, he's got that corny, the birds and the Falcons, whatever that. I don't even know what that was, Jake. He lost me there. And even remember the game against the Patriots? I think it was a Thursday game where Rodgers made a play and Rodgers is running off the field and Saleh tries to get and Rodgers like, relax, man, relax. Like it was obvious that he wasn't really respecting Saleh for whatever reason. I would just say that Saleh needs to be in charge from day one, because the other thing he did, he held no standard for Zach Wilson. Always made excuses, always talked around it. I believe is a brilliant football person. I believe people want to play for him, as evidenced by the way the Jets defense played for him and the disintegration without him. But he's got to be authentic. If you are an F-bomber, if you are that kind of person, be that person. Don't go up there and think, I've got to be something that, all right, I'm now the head coach and I've got to be much more, very, very different and very serious. Dude, however got you to that point, do what you do. I mean, it'll be like Jake. You get afternoon drive at a big time, whether it's in New York, whatever, right? And suddenly the guy that they hire, you're not that guy. Your boss will be like, who the hell is this dude? We didn't hire this guy. You got to be who you are and what got you to the point of being elevated. So I do think there will be a good second act somewhere for Robert Saleh, but he's got to learn from that. But I think he's smart enough to learn from that. I do.
I think it's well said. Lou B writes, in any plan for Glenn that he has this year will be to try and save his job, so he's not worried about 2027. I think they go all in on a quarterback, blockbuster trade or draft. I mean, if they were to look at a trade option, right, the veteran options, is there a guy out there that intrigues you? I mean, could you actually see, the Burrows or Lamar actually being available? And of course, is there any path for one of these names we're not discussing right now to be in play for the Jets?
I don't think there's any other names but the 2 that you just mentioned. Those are the ones. I remember Burrow came up first. I'm not saying I was the first one to throw it out there, but I remember kind of throwing it out there, throwing an iron in the fire about 2 months ago, just kind of floated out there, maybe about 2.5, something like that. And then obviously Lamar. So here's the problem. Now, of course, I would take either one, but to get either one, you're going to have to give up basically 80% of the draft capital that you just got back for Sauce and Q. So the question would be, all right, now you have a tremendous quarterback. Burrow's amazing, pure passer. Lamar, 2-time MVP, most electric athlete in the NFL. What is he coming to play with? Well, you got the O-line, so that's a good thing. But I don't really think that they're set up. They're not a plug-and-play quarterback away from going from being a doormat to being championship relevant. And if you burn all the assets that can get you eventually from maybe a wild card team in year one or a respectable team to that next championship level shortly thereafter, well, then why are you doing it? Because the goal's got to be to win a championship. And I would say it's a small concern, but I would work around it. One thing that I wonder about Joe Burrow, does he love football? I'm not saying he doesn't. That would be unfair. But I'm asking the question. Some of his press conferences sent me signals like, I don't know, is this dude, does he want to play at least 37, 38? Does he want to grind like Stafford? I don't see that. So that's one. And then the other with Lamar, while he's still firmly in his prime, he's in his late 20s, year by year, that's going to decrease just a tick, just a tick, just a tick. So how much of the Lamar that you were to get are you paying for past performance? That's what they would have to juggle. And listen, I'm not going to be the idiot who says, no, I don't want Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow. I'm just saying it's probably a little, it's not as much as a gimme that probably some fans associate it being.
Robert with the super chat. He says, what DC would you guys like to see lead this defense? I mean, for me,
Martindale.
I'd be okay with him. I really would love Jim Schwartz if he's available. I don't know if he'd come here. I mean, could you get like an up and coming guy? Would Jim Leonard have interest in this job or come back to the Jets? Like, to me, like, you could get the Wink Martindale, but if they could get like that next guy, the younger guy, it's risky for Glenn. I mean, he's got to get this right, but I feel like Wink Martindale, like, there's a clear like floor that he has, but I feel like your ceiling's capped. And like, no one knew who Chris Banjo was, and that was Glenn's best hire by far.
That's true.
That's why I'm kind of open to, maybe the next up and coming guy, Al Harris, who's the secondary coach on the Bears. They led the NFL in takeaways. Something like that is what I'd be open to. But it feels like there's some mutual interest between the Jets and Wink Martindale based on some of that early reporting.
I would love that. Now, he's also a guy that, tried to take some of the power away from Dable, and that was a circus there. Would he try to railroad Aaron Glenn if things go wrong? I don't know. He's already done it in the past, and he's a guy who likes to pop off, with all due respect. So it doesn't come without a little bit of baggage, obviously. Now, here's the thing. If you're a young up-and-comer like Jim Leonard, who's really highly thought of, right? Former Jet, obviously more of a Raven, but a couple of years here. Rex guy, all that stuff. Woody, I'm sure, has an affinity for him. Why would you roll the dice and your first big move go to the unstable Jets with a head coach who very well will get fired after next year if it's not good, and then that means a real coach probably an established coach comes in and says, you're good. Now, it doesn't mean that if they brought in somebody next year that they couldn't see the value in Jim Leonard and retain him. We've seen that before. It's happened on certain staffs here, but I think that that's probably, when you calculate the odds and the risks, that's probably the less prudent path to go if you're somebody like Leonard. Whereas if you're somebody like Wink or a veteran, Schwartz, you say, hey, listen, no matter what, give me that 3-4. You squeeze the extra year out of him, guaranteed. You're getting every penny. And you want to win and you want to do a good job. But if something goes awry, you get fired. And I'm not saying that this is the way that you should live life. Just get guaranteed money and just parachute into a 5-win season and be okay with it. But it does ease the burden of a tough decision if you know that you got an extra year out of desperation that other teams might not give you. So there's a lot to consider there. Like Leonard, if the Jets would have had a better season, and even if it's only 2 or 3 more wins, but just little more direction and a little more belief that Glenn could be the guy long term, maybe that would seem like a better fit from Leonard's point of view. But I like him, and somebody's going to hire him, and he's going to probably be a star. So
that's the big issue what you were just hitting on, though, right? Like, can Aaron Glenn improve his coaching staff when the perception is, and I don't even think it's a perception, I think it's a reality, he's on the hot seat. Like, if you're a big name coach, do you want to work for Aaron Glenn knowing that you're a 1-5 start away from a dead coach walking for basically the entire staff, maybe minus Chris Banjo?
Well, and that's obviously the question that so many of these highly sought after people are going to have to reconcile. But Jake, here's the difference between us and fans and other people who talk about this, show hosts, whatever. Like, I really believe this. If you're an NFL coach that has options and you look at the Jets situation, we can rant and rave about all these years of the Jets jetsing, but they are looking at the roster and they know that there was nothing on the roster. And they know with the $75 million in cap space and all the draft picks, there is a way to compartmentalize, strip away the emotion and strip away the however old you are, it's relative, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years of Jet futility, whatever it might be. They're not carrying that baggage into the building because what they've accomplished elsewhere, they believe that they are good enough to elevate. You know what I mean? So that's how winners think. Winners don't think that, the Jets are going to ruin or suppress or stifle what I do well. Winners say, I'm going to elevate that shit franchise because that's what I do. And, it takes a broad set of shoulders to do that. But there are people who will do that. So I don't think it's as undesirable maybe as it might seem on the surface for some of the reasons we just did.
Love that positivity. A couple minutes left with BT, so last chance to get your questions answered, or if you got a comment, get it responded to. Kyle Clifton,
$20.
That's right. He's in the raffle for 5 for a signed Curtis Martin helmet at the end of today's show for everyone tuning in late. Whose fault is it that they drafted Arian Smith in the 4th round and traded up for Tyler Barron? Stubbornness is not recognizing the issues on the interior defensive line till the end of the preseason. Glenn is largely the blame for the 2025 team's lack of depth. Kyle is a regular caller of mine. very critical of the head coach.
Mhm.
And look, again, some of the draft picks I like, but they've basically lit a 4th-round pick on fire, it feels like, with Arian Smith. Tyler Barron gave you nothing. He was barely active this year.
Zero.
He was bad. So I get it. Like that, I think Muji definitely distinguished himself better than Glenn did in year 1. But if you told me, hey, we could clean house right now and get a legit head coach who picks the personnel guy they want to work with, I would do that in 2 seconds.
Yeah. This is a pretty easy one to diagnose. It's a good question too, but to me, you've got to separate, all right, what happens on Sunday. Now, what happens on Sunday is largely dependent upon what the GM does during the offseason. If you have nothing like Len had, that's why I even said, if you guys missed it, if you just tuned in, I said at the start of the conversation, like, all right, maybe the disparity in points wouldn't have been so ugly. Maybe they would have won a game. Maybe they wouldn't have been down by 5 or 6 touchdowns in some of the 5 touchdowns in some of these games. But if Mike Vrabel was coaching the Jets with the same roster, they're not winning in December. I really believe that. So what you've got to do is you've got to delineate between, all right, who bought the groceries, and that's Muji, and who's trying to coach up a grocery list that is not very desirable. So there's culpability that goes all around. Now, again, why do I think most of us absolve him or feel better about him? Well, because there were other little moves that he made that he showed the ability to adjust on the fly, being active on the waiver wire, doing this, little smaller things, and then some big things with big trades that tells me, all right, this man is prepared to do the job here. It's a Herculean task, and he's showing some early signs that he gets it more than Glenn. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to coach what you don't have. It's kind of how I would answer the question, but I get it. He's critical, and I'm not saying he shouldn't be on some level, no doubt.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also because we know that, Woody referred to Muji as Glenn's sidekick. So we know Glenn's really got like the ultimate say on any major decision they're going to make. When they were talking about Breece Hall this year, they asked Glenn about Breece. He's like, I'm not trading him. I called up Breece and said, I'm not trading. Like he used I a lot. So you know that he's obviously carrying, the final say in some areas. CJ wants to know, BT mentions a big body wide receiver. Would you trade for AJ Brown?
No, I don't want him in a building. Not interested. There's just too much stuff. I mean, if you're having a problem when you're on a team that won the Super Bowl and in the mix every single year for a top seed, and your coach is screaming at you, and you got friction with the quarterback, then it's resolved, then the friction's back, and then you're carrying on like a baby yesterday, and then a massive throw you drop, and then you bounce on the media. I'm not interested. Like, I understand that sometimes there's character issues. Forget about AJ Brown, just in total here. There's certain character issues, like the Jets taking Kyle Brady because Warren Sapp liked to smoke weed at Miami. I mean, come on. Like, some things you got to look the other way. As long as you're not a hardened criminal, big damn deal. Do you show up on Sunday and get a couple of sacks? Yeah, you do. You're an absolute menace to opposing offenses where they went the safe route. Kyle Brady, never going to get in trouble. And that was and Kyle was better with the Jaguars than he was actually with the Jets. So I don't let like character define every single decision, but there's enough evidence with AJ Brown where I'm like, you know what, for this team, nah, I'm good. Like the main thing is culture. You're trying to get a culture to stick, a culture of competition, a culture of belief, a culture of togetherness. And I feel like AJ Brown, while he's really good, is the complete antithesis. He's one more of divisiveness and selfishness, even though he's a baller.
This one's from the great Peter Castro, who called into my radio show yesterday. He goes, what happened with you and the Pope? I believe the Pope is the sports Pope, like Francesa.
Oh, my God. I can't tell the whole story now. I just did a pod on this on Awful Announcing. The short version is, go and look it up. Go to Google, type it in, my name, Francesa. It was years ago, by the way. And this summer, I went out, I played golf with Mike, me and Sal, JJ. Mike almost killed me with an error tee shot that he sculled in front of the green. So maybe he would literally hit me right here, dude. I mean, and it was a rocket.
Wow.
So if that thing's here or here or here, like they would have airlifted me off the green. That's really what would have happened, if not worse. But no, it was a long time ago. It was pretty ugly. I don't hold back in the article. You'll see it. And it's on video if you want. I tell the whole story. It's out there. But I got respect for Mike, obviously.
Big Fella says, hey, Saleh's Crows got us, damn it. Big Fella also wrote that he's excited to hear you, so he's a big fan of yours.
Thank you very much.
Johnny Jet says, Falcons hire Saleh, keep Olberg, hire Mike LaFleur as the OC. Jets 2.0, LMAO.
Ooh. I'll tell you, the Falcons job's a very appealing job. I mean, they've got tight end, they've got receiver, they've got a running back, they've got a pretty good O-line. I don't now the quarterback spot, obviously, Penix with another injury. I have it somewhere in my notes because I was going through all the cap situation. Tennessee's got cap space. We've got it. I know. I think the Browns are like 12 over the cap. Like their numbers are all twisted. I don't remember if the Falcons were in very favorable cap position or not. I think they were like, I feel like it was $20 million over, which isn't a ton, but you can restructure and do some stuff. That's actually a very appealing job. It's a bad division without a lot of good quarterbacks. I mean, you go in there with that roster, one or two little upgrades, you should win the division and should get some home games. Like, that's a pretty good landing spot. Watch out, Stefanski. I don't think Harbaugh would go there. I could see Stefanski going there if he gets turned off. Like, even if the Giants don't, this is where they got to be careful because we all know that they want Harbaugh. That's their number one target. But they had Stefanski in last week and they wined and dined him. And I know that they like him as well. But human nature has to factor into this at some point. If I'm Stefanski, who won 11 games and won Coach of the Year twice for the dysfunctional Browns, like, I've got some value. And if you just kind of Heisman me because, the better looking one comes in the bar and you want to talk to her rather than me, meaning Harbaugh, well, I might say, screw you. I'm not waiting for you. And I know it's Jets, but what the Giants can't risk happen is where they whiff on Harbaugh and then Stefanski's like, nah, I'm going here or I'm going there. And then they're scrambling and then it's coordinator time. That can't happen.
BT, Brandon Tierney with us. All right, a couple quick hitters for you on the way out.
Yes.
Knicks, are they good enough as currently constructed to get to an NBA Finals?
To get there, yeah, I don't say that with great confidence. I do like that Mike Brown sat Cat last night, the final 8-9 minutes. That shows that, I think there's no way Tom Thibodeau's doing that. He's going to run the 7 guys into the ground every night. No, I don't think they're beating somebody from the West, all right? I'm not even convinced they would beat Detroit, although I think they'd probably find a way to squeeze through. They got a lot of things they got to work on. Bottom line, I know it's a couple of quick hits, so I'll make it quicker. When you have 40% of your starting 5, your point guard who's a turnstile on defense, you're big who can't move at all, and it's a big problem when you get them in space and away from the bucket. Like, that's 2 guys out of 5 who are horrid defenders.
Yep.
You better outscore people. And when Cat still doesn't know what his role is, that's a problem offensively. So, no, I hope I'm wrong. Knicks aren't winning the championship this year unless they make a trade.
Is Bellinger a Yankee, or is it truly going to be a pivot elsewhere?
Yankees aren't giving him more than 5 years. And
Nor should they, by the way. I'm
no way. Bellinger, get lost. I mean, it's one thing to sit through this last year with Juan Soto. It's Juan Soto. If you think that I'm going to sit here for another 3 weeks begging Bellinger to come in, dude, go back to the Dodgers. Go to the Mets. I don't care at this point. There's pivots to be made. Trade for Nico Horner. Go out there and get Bichette. Or how about this, Yankees? How about you get Bellinger and Bichette, or Bellinger and Horner, or Bellinger, Horner, and Peralta? Like, for once, it's been too long since they've been bold, but I'm also smart enough and young enough to remember last year, what was the tone? Oh, Pete, he's bouncing. It doesn't sound good. Looks like the Mets have moved on. And then we find out Pete gets a contract, albeit a short-term one. So this is the nonsense posturing that Boris drags us through. If he's a Yankee, it will be for 5 years. And I'd say right now, 50-50 that he's even back. And I'm getting over it at this point. Whatever. Make a decision, dude. You're not that good.
I love it. I'm with you there. The idea that the Yankees have to give Bellinger the Ellsbury contract all over again is complete nonsense. So we are aligned there. Brandon, this was awesome, man. Been a fan of yours for a while. You know that. I bet you a bunch of times. But continued success with what you're doing on YouTube. And plug the channel again so a bunch of my listeners, Jet fans, can subscribe to a fellow Jet fan and see all the content you're putting out daily.
I appreciate that. So it's at BT Unleashed. It's on YouTube. I've got a little issue with the live stream with YouTube. I won't bore you with that. It's something that I can't control. You know that there's certain things that have to happen. Whatever. Okay, I know you know that.
My audience knows how annoying it could be too. Yep.
It could be, and it's out of my control. So as much as I try to facilitate it, I can't speed it up. I'm trying, but I'm going live every day at 10 and it's on X, and then eventually Instagram as soon as the show's over. It's usually 90 minutes from 10 to 11:30. We upload it right to the YouTube page. And obviously I'm very connected to it, responding to a lot of comments like the ground floor. I admit, does it look like this? No. I mean, I did the first show in my basement. I'm doing my shows now in my home office, but actually next week, the whole redesign should be ready.
Nice.
I'm excited. Logo's sick. I got to hire a producer, get the thumbnails going, get the look going better. But you know, and you know this, it's about content. You could have the best looking website, the best looking YouTube channel. If you can't bring the goods, you got nothing. So I'd like to think that I could bring the goods, and the nothing is eventually going to be improved upon from an aesthetical point of view. So Jet fans, roll with me. Yankee fans and Giant fans too. At BT Unleashed, everybody. Mets, we got a little something for everybody on the channel. I'm having a blast.
BT, continued success, man. Really appreciate you hopping on. Good to catch up.
You too, man. You've exploded, buddy. You've exploded. I see it. I flip on the radio. I hear Jake. I'm starting to see all these shorts pop up, all these YouTube alerts. Like, you're doing your thing, buddy. And I know that you're grinding. So it's not always linear, man. Like, one thing I've learned, to get from A to Z eventually as a broadcaster, it's not always that straight line. Sometimes there's a step back. Sometimes there's a misstep. Sometimes there's an unexpected great step forward. Just keep towing the line, buddy. You're doing a really good job.
Well said. I appreciate it, man.
You got it, Jake.
We'll catch up soon.
All right, buddy. I'll see you, man.
Brandon Tierney. Check out his new YouTube channel. Does an excellent job. It was fun. The last time I saw BT in person, we were at that Jets-Cowboys game. I mentioned this when he was just on. The tour we took at AT&T Stadium the day before the game. We got to run routes on the field. It was incredible. That stadium is unbelievable. Impossible to figure out like where to go once you get in. It took me 50 minutes just to try and find my seat. And I'm trying to follow the game as the first quarter is starting. And I'm like looking through to try and like follow what was happening. Like the actual like figuring out where you're sitting once you get to Jerry World for an actual game day was impossible. But we got to take a tour the day before. And that stadium's amazing. And again, every time I go to these stadiums, whether it be Jerry World or I did Vegas that year too later that season, the stadiums that are all new are unbelievable. They're state of the art. And then the Jets and Giants, two New York teams, share MetLife Stadium. It's just, it bothers you if you're someone who goes to road games every year like I do. Like even Tampa's stadium is way better than MetLife. All these stadiums. Yet we have two New York teams worth gazillions of dollars combined, and they play at a giant air conditioning unit. But good stuff there with Brandon. Really appreciate his time. And he's way more positive about the Jets than I am. So there you go to all the Glenn bootlickers, as we call them around here. You got some positivity, and I think BT kept it real with his assessment on everything. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. We're presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. We got one game left in the NFL wildcard round. Tonight, the Steelers up against the Houston Texans. Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs for the Pittsburgh Steelers against CJ Stroud and the Texans. You could bet on the game with FanDuel. The line right now is Steelers +3. Mike Tomlin is excellent as an underdog. So I would lean with taking the points in Pittsburgh. Now, I'm also rooting for the Steelers. I like Rodgers. I got no ill will towards him. I'm a big Mike Tomlin fan. So I'm rooting for Pittsburgh, but I would have no issue if Houston won. In fact, Houston might actually match up better against New England next week. So we shall see. That said, enjoy the game tonight, everyone. And if you want to call in and talk about it, you certainly can. We'll get to your calls coming up. Reminder, tomorrow is the weekly raffle. Framed Super Bowl III ticket display, signed Namath helmet, and Namath replica Super Bowl III ring. Today's the anniversary of Super Bowl III. So, if you want to enter that, gift a membership, or make sure you send in a $10 super chat or higher. That qualifies. $10 super chat will get you 2 raffle tickets. And again, ended this show, we're offering a signed Curtis Martin helmet as the raffle prize. So we'll get to your calls coming up. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Let's go to Ron, who's first on our show this afternoon. Ron, thanks for making the call.
Hey, Jake. How you doing?
What's up, Ron?
Hi. Just to listen to the Dante Moore stuff. Brandon hit the nail on the head there, talking about, first he's 20. He's on the skinny side. He's coming off the worst game of his career. And then down the stretch, the last couple of games, he was mediocre at best. You do not pick a guy and call him a project. I know we're worried about coaching and stuff, coaching him up. You don't pick a project with a number 2 pick draft or even top 10. These guys come in. We always think of them as possible starters. You don't bring projects in that position. Once again, undersized. And Trinidad, he's undersized also. I hear 5'11", 6 foot. We don't need another small guy that runs around a lot. And it's almost like the rise of Zach Wilson. He's starting to shoot up in everybody's opinion anyway now. We need to get it right this time. Just give me a guy 6'3", 6'4", some big guy that at least has the measurables and looks somewhat like an NFL quarterback. I'm actually thinking that I know Carson back there. Now he had a good game the other day, but this game coming up, this could be something that makes him move into the first round, maybe late first round or early second or something. He might be somebody that we'll be looking at. He's a big guy. He's played like 40 games or something. I'm just saying, I just don't want to go backwards and do another Zach Wilson. I don't want any of these projects. We need a guy that's got his feet on the ground that can come in and just, we need a quarterback. And we're not going to get one of those guys. I'm just telling you, we don't need another head case project. I just prefer we try to get it right. We're way at the top of the draft, and this is a big chance for us.
Ron, good call. I agree with you. Look, when everyone keeps telling me that Dante Moore needs to sit, that to me is not a number 2 pick in the draft. If it's so clear he's got to sit the entire year because he's not ready, he's raw, I don't want to take that guy number 2. Now, if a different team, like if we had Kyle Shanahan as our head coach and we want to take that guy number 2, okay, I'll take the chance. I know it didn't work with Trey Lance, but I'll feel better about like McVay doing that or Andy Reid doing that. I don't trust Aaron Glenn to do that and actually let the quarterback sit and get the development he would need. I don't. So I think Ron's right. I wouldn't do it. I would trade out of 2 if Moore declares for the draft, which I still think he's going to. The fact that Dylan Raiola committed to Oregon, I don't think he's doing that to be the backup to Dante Moore. I don't. I would not draft Moore right now. Now, maybe my opinion will change. I'm too close to what happened the other night. I don't feel good about the Jets coaching staff right now. Maybe Glenn surprises me and, they hire, hypothetically, Cliff Kingsbury as the OC or Brian Dable, someone like that, right? Mike McDaniel would never take a job working for Woody, but maybe my opinion will change. But my thought process right now is I would trade out of 2. I'd rather take a chance on Simpson or take Trinidad in the second round. I'd rather do that because I have no faith in this coaching staff. I don't. All right. Charles London is our quarterback coach. Aaron Glenn said this when he was asked what he's looking for in a quarterback.
What do you look for in a quarterback? Like, what's an Aaron Glenn quarterback?
A winner.
So he signed a guy that had a winning percentage of 32% before the Jets signed him. It went down to 30.2%, by the way, for those of you who are curious. I did some math before the show. Fields was 14-30 when the Jets signed him, a winning percentage of 31.8. He went 2-7 with the Jets. 16-37 overall. 30.2%. Again, I can't do it. I would not give that head coach Dante Moore and trust that the Jets would have a plan in place where he wouldn't have to play for a year. So I would try and trade out. That's what I would do. Let someone else take Dante Moore. Because I think he does need a year. And I'd rather just get my quarterback in 2027. That's kind of my initial feel right now. If they take Dante Moore, I will root like hell for him. But I just don't think we're putting him in the best situation to be successful right now. Oh, they have the offensive line. They have it's coaching. Remember when Caleb Williams was drafted last year? Oh, the Bears are the best possible situation for a rookie quarterback. Look at all the weapons they have. Adunze they added. Oh, look at the fact that they have Keenan Allen and they have DJ Moore and they had the tight end, not Loveland, but the guy who's still there on their team, whose name is escaping me. And they had a decent offensive line, everyone said, but they had Matt Eberflus. And their offensive coordinator stunk. It didn't matter. So that's my fear. It's like you draft Cole Kmet. Thank you to Amid in the comments. Like, that's the issue with, I think, taking more right now. Mendoza would be different. I think he's too good of a prospect. You just take him. You know that he could deal with a bleep storm for a year. I just don't think it will affect him. Moore needs development. And I used to be all about, like Kyle here, used to be complaining, saying, get a QB. I did, but that was in September and October. The more this goes on, this head coach is still here, like more clearly needing development. I don't want to put this coach on a timeline where he feels like he needs to win, and he's going to be inclined to pull the lever to go to Moore earlier than he's ready. That's where I'm at. But I understand that they might take more anyway. And if they do, hopefully they don't play him till he's ready. Or if they do play him, it doesn't put him in a spot where it affects his development. Because then you're really counting on getting the coaching hire right in 2027 to fix him. Henny says, Jake used to live in Houston, but is rooting for Pittsburgh. I mean, look, I got no ill will towards the Texans. I covered them, but I wasn't a fan of them. I've always liked Mike Tomlin, and you guys know where I stand on Rodgers. I've always been a fan of his before he was a Jet, so I'd like to see him win tonight. If he loses, will I lose sleep over it? No, I don't care. Here are my allegiances in the playoffs. Who's ever playing Buffalo or New England? Aaron Rodgers and Sam Darnold. That's it. Danger Zone says, hey, Jake, do you pick up Will McDonald's option in May? Do you make an offer to Brees before he tests? And finally, what about Jermaine? Love the beard. Let it cook. Thank you, Danger Zone. I think I would pick up McDonald's option. You have all this money. You got to spend it on something. I've seen Will McDonald be a good football player. Now, I haven't seen it in a while other than one game against Cleveland this year because Mr. Accountability, Mr. Coaching Bro, was horrific with him this year, as was the Steve Wilkes-led staff.
Coaching. It's coaching. Because he can do it. It's just coaching. That's all it is.
But I still would keep him because the next head coach could benefit from having a good pass rusher. Do I make an offer to Brees? Within reason, I would. If not, I'm going to use the tag on him if we can't come to terms. I'm not just creating a hole for no reason. Maybe I even put the transition tag on him, which would be about $3 million less than what the franchise tag would cost, and would give the Jets the right to match any contract Brees would sign in free agency. Maybe I would do that. But again, you have all this cap space. I'd rather just use the tag on Brees if I can't get a deal done and not have to worry about it. Why create another hole? As far as Jermaine, look, he's under contract. Am I going to trade him right now when his value is at his lowest? I wouldn't. Again, my big fear with everyone saying, oh, this defense stinks. They have no talent. We didn't say that at the beginning of the year. Yes, they traded Sauce and Quinnen, but it like guys who were good players just forgot how to play football. That's it. They just suck now. That's what we're going with? Really? Or was this coaching staff an abomination? I lean with that. Tank for Ty, linebackers with a 70% hit rate or franchise QB with a 40% hit rate. I mean, if you tell me the Jets took Sonny Styles with the Colts pick, I'm good, Ty. But ultimately, you're not winning with just a linebacker. I mean, the 49ers lost their best player on defense who was an all-pro linebacker, and they're doing just fine. It's coaching quarterback, man. More of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to say hello to a man who did this at T-Squared Social yesterday.
Oh man, can you guys hear me? Worst golf shot all the time. So let's talk about sports takes. So the Knicks, they had a good game yesterday. You know, I think the Knicks could go deeper in the playoffs because, you know, they're better with the rotation. What's your thoughts on that, Jake? Probably the worst golfer of all time. Even John Dredesky's son can golf better, honestly. But yeah, I think the Yankees. I don't know if they're going to match Cody Bellinger's offer, but let's see. Let's see. He might sign with the Mets because, you know, the Mets love to steal every Yankees players. You know, Juan Soto. The Mets love to loves to sign ex-Yankees. You know, but let's see the Yankees sign Bellinger. You know, you have to sign many players like Judge and Aaron Judge and Jazz Chisholm. There's not a lot of players, and then for hockey, you know, good win by the Islanders, you know, and for the Jets, you know, it's off season, the cap space. But you guys want to see my boxing? Y'all got no. Can you guys see me? Can you guys see me with boxing? Y'all got nothing. Jake, can you see me boxing? Where's Peacebreaker? Because he can be our look. What's up, Beast? How you doing? Look at my boxing.
Get in certain position. I'm going to show you how it's done.
In position. One.
Yeah, yeah. Can you see me now, Beast? Can you see?
No. That's not the way you're working it. Work under the bag, like this, and give it a couple uppercuts.
Yeah. There. Is that better, Beast?
Oh, kid, you got a lot to learn. Stand position, like you're ready. And you're ready to give it a deuce.
Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans of all ages, welcome to the event of the year, the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the Asmaniac Rumble.
Oh man, how you doing, Johnny? Oh man, what do you think of Aaron Glenn? Honestly, what do you think? I know you love Aaron Glenn.
Hold on. Stop talking. First of all, we got to talk about that golf shot that you just took. How the hell you a grown ass man and that's how you swing a golf club? That's what I want to know.
Bro, I bet that was the worst golf shot. I never play golf. You know, I play mini golf, but I never like play golf. I don't usually golf in my free time, so I'm very new of a golfer. Second of all, Johnny, what do you think of Aaron Glenn? Because honestly, I know you want to keep Aaron Glenn, but but Johnny, what has Aaron Glenn shown you? What has he shown you? He hasn't shown you anything. How many defensive players improved? Zero.
You gonna stop talking? You're gonna stop talking? You gonna let me respond to your question? You asked me a question and you keep talking. All right, you asked me what does he do good, right? Would you say top 10 in rushing yards is good or bad?
Yeah.
Is that good or bad? Is it good or bad? Just answer.
That's good, but
okay.
But
So what does he do good? So I answered you.
The reason why top 10 because it's garbage time.
Nah. The only reason why we're top 10 is because the AG knows what he's doing, because he's putting that foot down, and he's gonna bring the belt to ass to all you motherfuckers out here that don't know what you're talking about, bro. You over here, you running your mouth. You can't even swing a golf club. You can't even hit that bag. We got boxing over here with a bunch of 80-year-old grandmas, and I see them hitting the bag better than you, bro. Come on, bro. You gotta pipe down, bro. Come on. That's first, Max. You gotta stop talking. Watch a little more football. Stop running your mouth, and then maybe we can have a conversation. Because you asked me a question, honestly, but then you keep running your mouth. So I don't get how we're supposed to have a conversation.
Honestly, Johnny, you know the Jets play a whole different sport than all the other teams. You know, you know why the top 10 in rushing yards? Because it's garbage time, Johnny, bro.
Because we got offensive line.
Our defense regressed.
Okay.
Offensive line.
Malachi Moore was elite in tackling. He missed 4% of his tackles this year. That is elite. Not just for a rookie. That is elite for a DB, period. Okay? So you want to talk about who's improved, who's done this, who's done that? How about Armar Membu, rookie right tackle? Those don't grow on trees, bro. They don't just come in the league and dominate like that. That's coaching, bro. That's Armar Membu coaching. That's Aaron Glenn. What else you got for me, Mad Max?
I mean, Malcolm Moore's good tackles. But you know the Jets had 0 interceptions, Johnny? That's the most inept thing I've ever seen. You know that is pretty bad. When was the last time the Jets? It's pretty bad, inept, and you know whoever's defensive coordinator, Steve Howard's and the defensive back coach, Bauer shouldn't survive because he's a defensive coach. Our defense under Saleh was good. All of us, like Sherwood was good, Quincy was good, Sauce was good. But
he's a bootlicker, Glenn butt sniffer, putting perfume on a pig and telling Jake, check this out. He's a bootlicker, Aaron Glenn truther, holding out a rope and trying to sell us on this shit show.
I missed it.
Boxing. What's up? How you doing?
I didn't see it.
I was at the Asmaniac Rumble. I'm sorry, the worst. Oh man, you guys want to see me do a little boxing? Look at my little boxing.
Show him how it's done, Gary. Teach him.
Oh God!
All right. Max. Jay, can you translate for me? I can't talk to him. Can you, Max? All right. Stand up straight.
Stop doing drugs for a moment and pay attention.
Stand up straight. Shoulder length apart. Athletic position, like basketball defense, like baseball, like get in an athletic position. He's freezing up on me.
Yeah, I'm saying right now. Look at my nose. Can you guys see me do the athletic position?
All right. You right-handed or left-handed? Do you write with your right hand or your left hand?
I'm a right-hander.
All right, so with your right foot,
I'm a right-hander.
Take a baby step back with your right foot. All right, there you go. Now keep your hands
Can you
up.
guys see me do now?
Keep your stand up straight, and then just a little bend in your knees. A little bend in your knees. Stand up straight, but then just bend your knees like you're playing shortstop or you're playing defense in basketball, right?
Is that better? Yo, is that
That's better. That's a little
better?
bit. Put your hands.
Is that better?
All right, take your hand. Put your hands. All right, but put
Is that better? Is that better, Gary?
Put them up. Put them up. Put them up. Right? But put them up to protect the whole
like
thing.
that?
Right now you just protect. All right. But elbows in. Keep your elbows in. Put your elbows in so that your elbows are protecting your sides and your hands are tight. All right. The whole thing is now. Right now you're bent. Right. So your whole body is protected. Right. I can't see
Sounds
it.
good.
All right.
Can you
like
see
you're
me
on
now?
the phone. Like you're on the phone. Put your hand like you're on the phone. You see? Understand what I'm saying? No.
True.
Take your left hand. Take your left hand. Pick up the cell phone. Put the cell phone to your ear. Put the cell phone to your ear.
We'll try another time. Boxing lessons with Gary. It's only lesson 1. We got plenty of time. Open phone lines for anyone who wants in on the conversation. Big fella says at this point, I want Bain and Styles or CJ. I think they might be able to get CJ Allen, and that's who you're talking about, the linebacker from Georgia, with that pick 33, the 3013. I think that they could get him there. I could be wrong. I've seen some mocks having him go to the Jets in that spot. It's early. I like Styles. You told me the Jets ended up with Styles. I'm good with it. More of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, get your guesses in.
I think Mad Max has to be up there with the greatest multi-sport athletes of all time. When you talk
That's an
about
athlete right there. I mean,
you talk about Jim Thorpe and Jim Brown, and you talk about Bo Jackson with the archery and the football and the baseball. This guy is right there at the same level, I'd say.
Tough to argue with any of that.
Yeah. So, even though BT is saying he skews positive, like he's kind of undermining his own argument by saying, who wants to come here and be a defensive coordinator for Glenn for 1 year if they think he's going to be out? Like, it always comes back to, it feels like this guy's not going to be here. So why?
No one could actually make a football argument how Glenn does enough in year 2 where he's getting a year 3. Like, it's very hard to do that right now.
No, I mean, I think everybody wants to be positive. No one wants to shit on Aaron Glenn, but like, what are we doing? I was just thinking about the draft and like, what we might be able to do with some of these picks. I'm still high on Moore. I wouldn't be at all upset if they took him at 2, but it might make sense to trade back and to save that pick, that quarterback pick for 2027. I've been saying that I don't want to force it for a bit now. But who are you trading with? Is it the Browns? Could you get 6 and 24 for that second overall pick, or could you get a first rounder next year? I don't know.
What would you rather have? Maybe if I get the Browns 1 next year and they suck, like that's a pretty good bet for a top pick.
Right. I mean, I would love if we could somehow extract number 6 and the number 1 next year. That would be something else.
I'd rather the Browns pick next year than getting the Jags pick pick. What is it? Pick 20 or pick 20 something.
Right. And then you have the Rams are like 13 and like they're going to be picking late, right? They're picking somewhere in the mid to late 20s, presumably, right?
Probably.
Yeah. So like these teams that might need quarterbacks that might be willing to come up. I don't know necessarily that there's a deal there, but by all means, if the deal is there, go back and start to fill out this roster, because the one thing that BT did say is at this point now, this roster is kind of from hunger because we had to sell Quinn and Sauce and some of these guys have not proven to be what we thought they would be. I think we just got to start adding studs to the roster, and then maybe next year look to add the QB. If we could add another first round, we would certainly be in a position to do that next year.
Yeah, it's tough because I think they're just going to take Dante Moore too when it's all said and done, and we're going to have to hope and pray they don't screw him up.
I think so too. I mean, if you're Glenn, you feel like he's going to force the issue on that. That's another reason not to keep Glenn.
Exactly. He's not going to be like, oh, I have this play. He's going to look at it like, we can't be in this spot a year from now. This might be my best chance to get my quarterback, and then we'll have Cousins at that point as our quarterback, or Mariota, or we made a trade for Brissett or Mac, someone of that ilk that's going to go in as the starter. And you just got to hope that if and when Moore's got to play next year, he either is so good he can overcome dysfunction, or, he's still highly regarded by whoever the next coach is in 27. It's a bleak way to look at it, but until I have reasons to believe Aaron Glenn has any idea what he's doing, I'm not giving the Jets the benefit of the doubt. I refuse to.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a strict FAN fan, and I'd never really listened to BT that much. But after today, I'm more of a fan. I thought he acquitted himself pretty well. I think he was a high school classmate of some good friends of mine. So he did acquit himself pretty well in the show, and I hope that he has success in his new endeavor. Thanks for your time, Jake.
Great call, Kyle. Yeah, Brandon's awesome, man. He's a good dude. I think the problem with sports talk radio now, and I'm seeing this even with like my show, when I have like a great team, Dom, Sean, for example, Kevin, they make clips from the show. And I think because people only see like snippets of the show, they don't really know like some of the nuanced opinions and stuff we have on the show. I think there's like the audience on Twitter that never actually watches the live show. They only consume it through clips, that have like this perception of me or the show that's not accurate. Like I see this all the time, like Jets Reddit, like debating the show. It's hilarious. And I think Brandon and Sal in particular, because they have strong opinions, FAN finds the strongest opinion, and their social team would put that out there. And I think that's the stuff that people see, and they don't have time to actually sit down and listen to the full segment where they have more nuance. Like BT wasn't giving hot takes. He was giving his opinion. It was a nuanced conversation. So I think the perception of like some sports talk radio hosts that, oh, it's just hot take and just saying crazy things. But I think it's also just kind of the way social media takes snippets from a show and you form an opinion off that. It's not always the best way to evaluate a show or like understand nuance to it. Marius says the nerds at Jets Reddit complain about you every day. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. There's like a ton of Reddit threads about me. It's actually hilarious. Maybe we should review them on the show. I think that'd be a funny segment. Read, because some of the Reddit comments are very funny, but people are very mean on the internet. No one goes out of their way to be positive, right? And when was the last time you left a review for a restaurant where you had a great experience? Like, it's rare. And people usually go out of their way to complain. I did see this today, though, on Reddit. Someone sent me this. Too many people listen to Jake Asman. That was the headline of a Reddit group on the Jets Reddit page. I'm like, I disagree. I think not enough people listen to me. If Woody Johnson listened to me, we would not have Aaron Glenn as our head coach right now. We would not have Trust Me Bro as our coach.
And I know it's hard to say. Just trust me, have faith in what we're doing.
Okay. We'll do a Jets Reddit review. Some of the comments they make are very funny. More of your calls right now. We just saw this guy earlier. He tried to give Mad Max a boxing lesson. It didn't go well. But for his actual call, it's right now.
Chicken with pasta is worse than peanut butter with sandwich. When
I was in the gym in West Bay, we had this kid. I don't know, not kid. He's probably like 25, but he came from Thailand, I think. And he had brought a translator with him, right? So whatever Coach Scott would talk to, we'd have to like talk to the translator to talk to the fighter, right? So it was like a triangle. That's what I needed you for, Jake. I needed you to take what I was saying and translate it in a way that Max would understand it. And like you went silent on me, bro. I needed you. I needed you to translate into Maxian what I was saying, because it wasn't it wasn't connecting. It wasn't hitting home.
Maxian is hard to translate though, because you could ask him a question directly, he may never answer it. That's the problem.
I thought you were the only one that speaks it. I thought it was a language.
I think I speak it better than most, but it's even in person yesterday. I met Mad Max in person yesterday, and the first thing I said to him is, "Can you guys hear me? Honestly?" And it went well. But shout out to Mad Max's dad. Mad Max's dad was a great guy. Mad Max was there with his dad, so it was great to meet both of them in person yesterday at our watch party.
That had to be wild, meeting Max in person. Was he sedated or was he?
No, Mad Max is like 6 foot, by the way. He's really tall.
Is he like that, or is he calmer? Is that like is he what he appears to be on camera, or is there a different persona in person?
He was a little calmer in person from my interactions.
Okay, he looks the same. Okay.
Max is a good man, just a terrible golfer.
Because people are shocked when they find out like I'm a nice guy in person. Like I think that surprises people. Like I think they expect me to be some kind of hard ass, like like some dick. And it's like, no, that's not me. Right? I've met you a couple of times. I'm a pretty pleasant person in person, am I not?
I've always been a fan of yours.
Yeah. People I think are surprised and taken back by that. Like Bones, he said Gary was normal in person. But a couple of did you understand what I was trying to tell him? Like, take the cell phone, put it to your ear.
Yes.
Like, does that make okay?
But then he was like taking the cell phone and like moving it. He didn't understand what
Yeah.
he was saying. That's why I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Anyone who has an interest in boxing at any level, 101 like that, I want to help them.
We'll do a live boxing class in July when we're really scraping for content. That'll be boxing season.
Yeah, we can, and I can come up and I can help him. I can teach him the ism. You know who's getting with the ism? Our favorite feminist, Jay Graves. Jay Graves is getting with the ism. You can ask her. She's growing to accept the ism. It'll make her a happier person. It'll make her a happier, more productive person in life. So that's good for Jay Graves. Shout out Jay Graves. Cannoli. It's been one of these days, Jake. Everything. It's been like a Midas touch in reverse. It's been one of these days. Do you ever have one of these days where everything just falls apart, like everything goes wrong?
All the
have
time.
a day like that? Yeah. All right, but my call first. I understand why you're rooting for the Steelers, and I like Tomlin too, and that's why I want him to lose. I don't have any. It's nothing to do with Rodgers. I wasn't the biggest fan of him personally. Professionally, he's great. He came to the Jets. He did everything he asked him to do. He tried to come back from an injury. He rushed back an injury. It didn't work out, and we went our separate ways. It's no ill will towards Rodgers. I just think that if the Steelers lose, Tomlin might get canned, which makes another very viable head coach available for us, right? Like, even if we don't get Tomlin, it pushes Harbaugh down a notch, right? With McCarthy goes down a notch, right? So there's just another good head coach available in this offseason that we could potentially hire or interview, right? Like, there's more good coaches in the pool to pick from if Tomlin gets fired.
I totally see that point. I'm just not expecting Tomlin to get fired either way. And there's reports that he would step aside and go to TV for a year anyway. And then the Jets maybe could give him the Godfather offer for 2027.
Next year?
Yeah. So I see your point. Look, if he became available, for the love of God, get Mike Tomlin if you're the Jets. But again, I don't expect it to happen. Cannoli doesn't either. That's why she's barking.
Cannoli, come on, girl. Come on, girl. Just come on, go outside. It's the bulk trash comes once a month, and it's today, and it comes at this time. She's gonna, and it's slow. It's picking up bulk, right? It's moving couches and televisions, so it's gonna sit there and bark while the garbage truck is on the block the entire time. Cannoli, do not bark. Okay, I mean, she runs this house. I got no control.
That'll work.
I got no.
And
control.
Mike says he loathes you, by the way.
That's all right. That's fine. I mean, is there anything in particular, Mike? Is there anything like Jake would say and my my grandfather would say, the cut of my jib? Is there anything particular you don't like about the cut of my jib, or is there something that rubs it the wrong way? I mean, I'm not going to change it. I'm just curious. That's fine. Like, that's fine. Is that something that I said? You know, it's because I oppose feminism. Like, that's all he knows about me, and that's what he dislikes.
Barbarossa wants to know, is your dog a feminist?
It's a female. I don't think my dog is a feminist. Oh, why? Because my dog runs the house? Maybe. That's high level, Barbarossa. I don't know. My dog is a female, and she runs the house.
I mean, look at Matthew Smith's comment here. Lost all respect for you.
It is a female dog. That's everything in that is correct.
Amanda says Gary rubs me the wrong way only when he talks about women's/feminism.
I'm just trying to help, right? If you listen to the ism, you'd be a happier, more productive person.
Mike
The things that I tell you make you happier, Amanda. The things that the rest of the world tells you make you depressed and unhappy and unproductive. But continue.
Mike says, frankly, Gary, it's just the sum of all of you.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. If I lived to impress Mike DeRamo, I wouldn't be doing my job. I live for Christ, not for Mike DeRamo. Friendship with the world is enmity with God.
Hawk says you're like a pickled eggplant, acquired taste only for those with the necessary palate.
I like that. But it's important to get that palate going at a young age. That's why I say the ism is for the children. You teach the ism to the children at a young age, and they become happy, productive members of society. Yeah?
Hey, Rick Ken, if you're watching live, UPS just dropped off whatever raffle prize you won last week. I forget what it was. Anyway.
So yesterday, my daughter, not yesterday, Saturday. What day was the Bears game? Saturday. Yeah, Saturday? You know what Declan was wearing?
No, I don't.
A Caleb Williams jersey.
You lost her already.
Caleb Williams. So everyone in the NFL. Caleb, my favorite person.
By the way, who was great on Saturday? You gonna give him credit?
Was he? He was great.
The second half, he was great.
The last 5 minutes. Think of it this way: with 5 minutes left, they had that fourth down play that they snapped over his head, but it was whistled dead. They got to do it again. If that play doesn't get whistled dead, that's it. The game's over. If the game's over, you lose because Green Bay's about to score again because the ball's right there, and that's it. And it's one of the epically worst performances in the history. It was so bad. I think he was 14 for 30 with 2 interceptions and 170 yards at that point, with 5 minutes left in the game. Now, what he did the last 5 minutes was tremendous.
Well, that's why he was the number 1 pick of the draft. He's getting better. Takes time.
He had the lowest completion percentage in the NFL. I don't know.
It takes time. He's developing.
Okay.
He won a division in his second year as a quarterback.
Yeah, but that just tells me you play on a good team with a good coach. That's all
right.
That tells me.
But that's how this works. You can't win unless you're like the rare outlier. Andrew Luck could come in and take a team that was 2 wins before he got there and win 11 in year 1. Most guys aren't that.
I told this to Fialco because Fialco thought I was going to take a victory lap last year when Caleb was off. I said, I'm not. That was the worst coach team I'd ever seen. That was like Adam Gay's bad coaching from the Bears last year. I'm not going to hold that against him.
And then you watch the Jets this year and you're like, that was the worst coach team I've ever seen.
But I can't say he played great. He played unbelievable the last 5 minutes. But the first 55 minutes, he was god awful. He was.
I don't think he was god awful.
Like
I don't think it was 55 minutes. They were down 21-3 at halftime. It was much better from the third quarter on.
They didn't put the ball in the end zone, and they got the ball at midfield every time. It's like they couldn't move the ball, and he was missing receivers on slant passes by 7 yards. It was brutal. It was like watching Zach Wilson for most of that game. It was terrible. And then the last 5 minutes, once he made that fourth down play, you know the one I'm talking about, right? The fourth down conversion?
Yes, it was 4th and 8 and 6 minutes to go in the game.
The game was over. He was unstoppable from that point on. Like that, it was it. They marched down the field. He dissected the defense. He looked like he looked incredible. But for the first 55 minutes or whatever it was brutal. It was horrible. Like it was painful to watch. Like how he can miss passes, easy passes that badly.
I'd gladly take him on the Jets
over what we have, over Brady Cook, and
over any of my options this offseason. If you tell me Caleb Williams is a Jet, I'm in.
If you put him on the Jets, how many games do the Jets win? 6?
With this coaching staff, it'd be like Matt Eberflus. But I'm saying we would now have we would now have the tool in place, a la the quarterback, to attract the next offensive coach that want to work with him.
Maybe, hopefully, right? Like,
that's why did Ben Johnson take the Bears job?
Ben Johnson liked him. Ben Johnson is the number one, in my opinion. Ben Johnson is the number one reason for the Bears' sudden turnaround, right? Like, he happened to like Caleb Williams. If he didn't like Caleb Williams, he would have never taken that job. And
that's my point. That's my point. So obviously, he's got things you can't teach, and now they're going to teach him how to be a better processor, pocket quarterback, all that. He'll get better. Like, I'm not worried about him.
They benefited in a way that Ben Johnson happened to like Caleb Williams, Right? What if he didn't like him? What if he said, I'm looking at this guy's not the
Well, then
one?
he wouldn't have taken the job. But again, most people liked Caleb Williams. There's a reason why he was the consensus #1 pick. No one debated it.
Yeah,
you were an outlier by saying you had a 4th-round grade on the guy.
Third round grade on him.
Sorry,
third round grade on him. And I said that Drake May was clearly better than him, and you guys laughed at me. It ain't close. It ain't close. Like they're not even in the same stratosphere. But
yeah, but a year ago, Jaden Daniels was clearly the best. So like, who knows what will happen?
Drake
like
May's better than Jaden Daniels. I like. It's not a knock. I think they're both top 10 quarterbacks.
Right, but a year ago we weren't saying that. Is my point. Like again, like these things fluctuate. Like success is not always lateral. Like it takes time.
But you would say that Goldilocks played great. Lawrence played great this year, right? Are you ready to call him a very good quarterback? I'm not. He's been bad for 4 years. Like this might be the outlier.
Well,
you know
I think he has Liam Cohen. I think that's where the league is. You need to have that.
That helps. That helps for sure. But like
Drake May was 4-13 last year with Gerard Mayo. Like coaching matters.
Coaching absolutely. Same thing with Caleb. Caleb was terrible last year, and this year I still think he's pretty bad. Like I still watch him every week, and he does this, Jake. He does this every week. He's terrible for 3/4 of a game, but there's 1 quarter in there where he looks like magic. I don't know what to make of him. Is there tremendous upside in him? Yes. Do you get that most weeks, most games? No. You get what you saw the first 3 quarters out of Caleb from most games. I don't know. I don't know what to make of him. I feel like there's a little bit of Cam Thomas in him where it's like 40 points on 16 to 20.
Chicken with pasta is worse than peanut butter with salad.
The second I heard a Cam Thomas reference, I was out. I can't do it. Good call, Gary, overall, though. Cam Thomas. A couple super chats and then get back to your calls. Johnny Boy in the house. I still believe in Glenn. Vatos Locos forever. Bring back the flight crew. The Jets have not had the flight crew since pre-COVID. They should bring the flight crew back. If you're going to raise ticket prices, at least cover the cost of the flight crew. Derek, the Jet fan, has gifted a membership. He is in our Curtis, my favorite Martin raffle for 1. How many memberships we at right now? We only have 1 the whole show. Come on. I said I was going to gift 5 earlier, and then we ended up not doing the raffle. I'm going to gift 5 to the community. If you want one, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will enter you in this raffle to win a signed helmet by one of the all-time great Jets. Ladies and gentlemen, 5 memberships from yours truly are about to be gifted. In honor of such an achievement, let's celebrate another achievement that this fan base knows well. Field goal protection champions, baby. Hey, as I was gifting 5, Mike DeRamo stepped in, and he gifted a 5 spot of channel memberships. Hit it, AG.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're shit.
So these are from me and Michael DeRamo here, so I'll have to figure out who we're actually entering in the raffle. I'll look through it. EWC58, Cypress 87, Doey Joey, that's obviously a real name, Rand DeSantis, DMF 5594, Oathbreaker 610. And then these are from Mike, I think. Shlomo, Richard D. Leslie, John Stell, Justin ZE6. Okay, we got Dominic gifted membership. Shout out to you, Dom. Dom in the house. He's gifted a channel membership. That went to listener MH2001. And then another gifted membership here. Here are the memberships flying off the shelves. Curtis Martin, helmet up for grabs. Papa Jet in the raffle as well. Hit that like button if you haven't. Hennessy responding to Gary says, most yards ever by a Bears QB in the playoffs. Again, Caleb, I thought was great the other night. You got to be great when it matters. He was. Kyle Clifton, super chat. The number 1 reason for the Bears turnarounds, my boy Colston Loveland. How good was he the other night? Kyle was a big Loveland guy. He was last offseason. Mike in San Diego. I don't love any of the bridge QB options, but I think Mac Jones might be the best of a bad option, assuming a trade cost isn't prohibitive. Willis might have better options, but I like him too. I don't think Willis would choose the Jets. I think he'd go to a place where they have a much better established offensive coach in place. I don't see Mike Tannenbaum and I got into this yesterday. He thinks Willis would be a great fit for the Jets. I'm like, I don't know. I don't see it. Why would he pick the Jets over other options? Mike did the old offensive line and, Garrett Wilson. And I get that, but the coaching is so bad here. And Malik Willis, he needs to go somewhere where he's properly coached. Right now, Charles London's the quarterback coach still. That's who Malik Willis had in Tennessee. So unless they change that, he's not coming back here. Derek says that's an amazing mug. JakeAsman.com. Get your Bobby Midnight coffee mug. That's right. Julia says, hey, Jack. It's Jake. This is Texan fan here. That follows you daily. I'm just trying to figure out why you're rooting against the Texans. I always root for you guys. I'm not rooting against them. Just tonight I happen to like the Steelers more than the Texans. I'll root for you guys if you win. Believe me, you're playing the Patriots. I'm rooting for you all the way. But I'm rooting for Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers tonight. I've always been a Tomlin fan. And I've always been a Rodgers fan before he was the Jet quarterback. So I'm definitely rooting for Rodgers tonight. I would like to see him win a playoff game. Because then all the dumbasses said, he's going to ruin Tomlin's streak. And then it was, well, they're not even going to make the playoffs. They're going to lose to the Ravens. Well, now it's going to be, they're going to get bounced tonight. It's like, okay, let's see. Let's see. I think Rodgers has another good game left in him. They got to protect him, which is the big fear. But I think this could be a really good game tonight. At least I hope it is. Nick M in the house. Shout out to you, Nick. I got you down in the Asmaniac raffle for 5. Let's go. Give him a hug, Woody.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
Nick, thank you. FPP says, please take Matt LaFleur off our hands. See, I love Matt LaFleur, FPP. The problem is we fired his brother. So he'll never take a job with the Jets. Woody Johnson forced Saleh to fire Mike LaFleur after 2022. That's what all the reports were. Saleh didn't want to fire his best friend's brother. Turned out to be the wrong move, by the way. Because I do wonder what Rodgers would have been like with LaFleur calling the plays instead of Hackett. But who knows? Kyle Clifton says, I don't think Willis is going to have a ton of suitors, but he's interesting. I think he will, though. That's the thing. Miami would make sense. Atlanta can make some sense. Cleveland can make some sense. Arizona makes sense. A lot of teams don't have quarterbacks, and he's a guy with upside. So we'll see. More of your calls right now.
Purple Belt Mike, he loves the Dark Knight. He's got a green pool and he jumps right in. Maybe someday he'll get a brown belt, but for now he's just that Purple Belt Mike. Purple Belt Mike, it might be purple, but he can still kick your dirty ass.
Times are tough because, my wife had a Josh Allen shirt on yesterday.
What?
Yep.
What happened?
That time. What's that?
What happened?
What happened is the Jets suck, and Josh Allen's a good guy and everything else.
So you bought her a Josh Allen shirt?
I bought her a Josh Allen shirt.
How could you do
years
such
ago.
a thing?
I think it was 2 years ago.
Why would you do that? You can't give up on the fight.
Look, if I'm the only one gonna suffer, then that's one of us.
So she's a Bills fan now? What happened to the Quinn Williams dance? That's it? It's over?
So she's a Jets and Josh Allen fan.
You can't be a Jets and a Josh Allen fan. That's it. Come on.
I don't know, man.
How did you buy her that? She's got to suffer with you. That's
Yeah.
what a marriage is.
Look, I had an impossible question today, and I wound up choosing the Bills. So the question was, gun to your head, you have to pick one.
No, I know what you're going to ask me. Who would I rather see in the Super Bowl, the Patriots or the Bills?
Bills win the Super Bowl or Patriots win the Super Bowl. You have to pick one.
I've seen the Patriots win the Super Bowl. I'd rather them do it again than give Buffalo the satisfaction of getting there first.
See, I disagree. I go with the Bills because I hate the Patriots that much.
I hate them too. But
everything about the Patriots. I hate their
we've
logo,
seen them win already. It doesn't.
Fans,
the
Tom
Bills.
Brady.
I get it, and look, I see both sides of it. Either way, it sucks. But the one thing the Jets have over the Bills is they have never won a Super Bowl. If we let them get their first Super Bowl, we have nothing.
I honestly think we have nothing anyway because that was so long ago. Our years combined doesn't equal how many years ago it's been since they've won.
I get it,
So,
but I'd rather have that one thing over the Bills that they have never won a Super Bowl. New England's won a million Super Bowls. All right, they win another one. Great. It sucks. I'm not trying to minimize it. I hate them. You know how I feel about the Patriots. But Buffalo, the only thing we have over them is that they have never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I just hate the Patriots because of my whole childhood and upbringing, and
I hate him too.
even
Again,
friends at work that clown me.
I hope
Bills
the
fans
game is
at work that
canceled.
don't do it like the
I hope the
Patriot
game's
fans.
canceled. They don't play it. All right. I hope it never happens.
Yeah, an AFC.
I hope
Championship,
Bane
Bills,
blows up the
Patriots.
field. All right, Mr. Batman. I hope Bane shows up and he blows up the field and the game can't be played. All right, that's what I hope happens.
I hope so too. Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, my nightmare is Bills Patriots in the AFC Championship. God help us all. Let's go Texans. Let's go Broncos. Let's go Steelers. Let's go anybody. And then if one of them makes it to the Super Bowl, then just NFC all day.
Ladies and gentlemen,
This is what we got. We can't even root for our team to win games. We have to root for them to lose, and then we have to root against our division because we suck.
ladies and gentlemen, a disgruntled purple belt Mike.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
I can't believe Mike got a Josh Allen trip for his wife. Come on. Chelsea was doing the Quinnen Williams dance earlier this year. Josh Allen, come on.
And gets the sack. Oh, Baker goes down.
We can't have this. Come on. Ridiculous. More of your calls. If you want in on the raffle, now's the time. Jets have a new franchise quarterback. We covered this at the beginning of the show. Bailey Zappi is here. And Aaron Glenn has his guy. You know, it's funny. Aaron Glenn spoke earlier, and they asked him, what were you looking for in Bailey Zappi?
What do you look for in a quarterback? Like, what's an Aaron Glenn quarterback?
A winner.
And that's why we have Bailey Zappi. More of your calls. Jiggy is up next on the show today. What's up, Jiggy?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Did you calling in naked, Jiggy?
No, I got some pants on. Just
Okay.
hopped out the shower.
I'll take your word for it.
No, I do. I do. But just wanted to call in, man. I feel like I have some optimism on like everybody else. One thing I do hope though is that like people know that Woody is not changing anything. So it's like, everybody calling in saying, oh, this coach is available, this coach is available. Just like understand that we have Aaron Glenn for another year. Like it's nothing that we can do as fans about it other than just suck it up and look at some of the optimistic things that we have. And it's like, for me personally, I don't know about everybody else. Like I love your show. I've been tuning in, twice a day whenever I can. But it's like over the last couple of weeks, it's annoying tuning in and hearing all the negativity. Like we're stuck in this change, whether we like it or not. It's nothing that we can do about it. Nobody has Woody on speed dial. So
yeah, but aren't we
why not?
discussing the future when we talk about like our hesitancy with taking a quarterback at 2 because of our
Yeah, but at
concerns with the coach? Don't we have to prepare for what could be a brutal situation where we take the quarterback and then the head coach is not good enough and he gets fired like the Titans?
You can prepare in a negative way or a positive way.
We can do both. You could bring the positive light to things, but I can't blame like Kyle Clifton who called in and is talking about how he doesn't want more because he doesn't want Glenn to coach him. I feel the same way, as sad as that is.
But my whole thing is like when I first started watching your show, it was tuning in like when the Jets were. We always been terrible, but it's like tuning in. You bring some positivity.
Yes.
Some
When I felt it though, Jiggy, I can't fake it. That's my point. See, you've been around. It's coming from a place of like genuine. Like I love this team. I picked them to win 12 games the last 2 years before this one. Like
I get that.
if I have positive things to say, I'm the first one to say it. I can't fake it. I don't want to lie to the audience.
No, I definitely get that. But my whole thing is like you have such a powerful influence on a ton of people that tune into your show. And, you can give them a little more positivity to look forward to. Because that's,
what if I don't believe it, though? What if I don't believe it?
Yeah, I get it. But at some point, we're going to be negative for the next 9 months. You know what I mean? There are things to point to where it's like, okay.
And we will. We will cover them. We've said they have the resources. We'll be excited about some picks. We'll be excited about some free agent signings potentially. But it's January 12th. We got to watch the Bills and the Patriots play in the divisional round of the playoffs. The Jets look like they play a different sport compared to these teams. It's tough to sit here on a Monday after we just watched playoff football all weekend, and Aaron Rodgers, who was our quarterback last year, is playing tonight. And it's tough to sit here and be that positive right now. You got to give people more time.
If you really watch football, you knew we were not making it to the damn playoffs this year. So
but did I expect to start 0-7 and be one of the worst teams in franchise history? One of the worst teams.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
but they kept this head coach. If they fired him, there'd be optimism. We'd be the Giants right now. We'd be excited.
But that's my thing. Like, we know Woody is not doing anything. You know, he made that clear. Like, when he let them have that presser and say what they said, like letting us know for a fact that they are going to be here, despite all of these other coaches getting fired. So it's like, let's start looking at these free agents that may be available, these coaches that may come over here, because despite like how negative this season was, we do have a lot of great potential things for coaches to look at and say, hey, I can make a name for myself over here in this 1 year, because I know they're going to go all in with this capital that they have with the draft picks, this, that, and the third. So that can be an attractive option. You know what I mean? And if everything goes 100% well and they make the playoffs somehow, like, that's a storybook. You might get a documentary kind of thing. Like, this is stuff that I would be pitching if I was Aaron Glenn, to like really get somebody here, because he has to do a lot of pitching, because he didn't do a lot last year. But
Tank for Ty says this man just wants to be complacent in mediocrity.
Complacent in mediocrity. If you're a Jets fan for the last 15 years, you've been complacent in mediocrity. So what are you talking about?
Paul says 12 wins in how many years?
Listen, man, we haven't been good since I'm 25. Like, I probably
You
wasn't
really
even
have
watching.
seen them. Do you remember the Rex years?
Barely. I can tell you, I can like really vividly remember like the last 7, maybe 8 years. That's about it.
Barbarossa says, don't lie to us, Jake. You do you. I think people like the honesty, Jiggy. The truth hurts sometimes. Being a Jet fan sucks right now.
Being a Jet fan has been sucking for a very long time.
I've seen moments though, man. I remember going to the playoffs a lot when I was a kid growing up. I remember watching the New York Jets in 2004 go on the road and beat the San Diego Chargers, and Chad Pennington's hitting Santana Moss on a bomb downfield. I remember that. I remember when the New York Jets made the playoffs in 2006, and Eric Mangini was the man genius, and he was on The Sopranos because he was so good that first year with the Jets. I remember the Jets were 8-3 with Favre before it then fell apart, but I had hope then. I remember going out there with Rex and Sanchez 2 straight years in the AFC title game. I remember these things. They happened.
I mean, I get that. Last thing here, I just want to see where your head's at. Are you more on, getting Dante more, or, actually trying to see if we can trade back, getting as many, BPAs that we can, and then probably drafting Ty Simpson later in the first, or, Trinidad Chambers later in the second, or trade back up in the first, like the Giants did with Jackson Dart. Probably give some capital in 2027 to get back into the first. Which one
that
would
plan
you more?
Yeah, I'd rather trade. Yeah, because I like Dante more. I don't love him, and I don't trust us to develop him. So I'd rather just get assets and then take a lower risk investment, make a lower risk investment in the quarterback spot, whether it's Simpson or Trinidad Chambliss or someone else. I'd rather do that than take more at 2. And this coaching staff feels pressure to play him before he's ready because they're trying to save their jobs.
The only thing I feel like it's a drop off with Trinidad is, like, obviously he may be a little bit shorter, but I think the arm talent is pretty much the same with both of them. He is a little bit older, but I feel like he would be more able to sit 5 or 6 games and come in mid-season, rather than we drafting Dante and he has to come in 6 games into the season. I feel like that would be a little more hectic for him, and playing Indiana kind of shows that twice, because it is a great defense in Indiana, but we're going to have to play great defenses in our division with the Pats, the Bills, and then some of the other teams in the AFC West that we have to play. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do this offseason. But I feel like we are going to get another offensive mind in there that'll make you feel a little more comfortable with drafting a quarterback wherever we do.
Who do you think it is?
Honestly, I feel like it's going to be a name that we haven't spoke about. That's kind of a Glenn thing. He brings up, some up and comers that he probably has around in some of his friend circles. But I would like to see Dayball, but that's a long shot, or Kingsbury, but that's also a long shot. But we'll see. Even if he can, to reach out to Josh McCown, see if he can get him in some type of offensive position like that.
See, but here's the problem, Jiggy. These guys are never taking a job unless they're the OC. Like McCown wouldn't leave Minnesota for a lateral move. First off, I doubt Kevin O'Connell would let him go, and I doubt McCown would do that.
But you see, I feel like that's a thing that Aaron Glenn has to sit there and, buckle down. Like I may have fired both of my coordinators, but this is what I need to do for me and Muji to keep our job for year 3. You know what I mean? Like that I would be totally fine with. Now you're showing me like, hey, you're serious about turning this around in this next year. You have the capital and the draft picks to do so. You came in with a real offensive mind. It is a little sketchy for him because let's say we don't do as positive, they might cut him out and, the OC gets the head job position, the head coach position. But listen here, you got to do what you have to do. You know what I mean? Like I am tired of seeing this team lose, but I am a little more optimistic with, where the O-line is. We have a star receiver already. We can draft another one. We have a lot of capital to, fix up the defense, bring back Brees, bring back AVT. Like it's things looking up. Like you said, we just need the coaching, and I feel like next year we are able to get the coaching. You don't see the optimism or you don't have the belief, but I do have the blind faith. Hopefully he learned from a lot of his mistakes because
you are Woody's favorite customer, man. Like when Woody Johnson wakes up, he's like, "Thank God we have the Jiggies out there in this fan base."
Listen, man, not really. I
know it's hard to say. Just trust me, have faith in what we're doing.
Trust me, bro. Glenn's talking to you. You bought it hook, line, and sinker.
Listen, I live in Florida, so I don't even buy tickets in MetLife. So I haven't got a jersey since I was a little kid, honestly. I was in college before, and I was, got my own apartment. That's where most of my money goes to. So unless I'm going to the game, Woody is not getting any of my money.
Well, I better meet you at a game this year, Jiggy, all right? We'll root on Aaron Glenn together and hope he proves me wrong.
Listen, you come to any of the Dolphins games, I'll be there. I'm at a season ticket holder there at the Dolphins game. So hopefully we are good because, you usually just talk shit to me the entire game. It's not really much that I can say back, but I need that to turn around because I'm there whenever we do play.
Jiggy, you're the man. Hang in there.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're shit.
I mean, Woody loves this guy. Hook, line, and sinker. Forever Ron writes in, can't win a championship on mere vibes, big bro. Yeah, I mean, look, Jiggy's all about the vibes. Glenn says, trust me, bro. Jiggy's like, absolutely. Glenn says, don't let go of the rope.
Just don't let go of the rope.
Jiggy's grabbing on, baby. He believes. Look, I hope Jiggy's right. I can no longer give the Jets the benefit of the doubt. I gave Saleh the benefit of the doubt because at least I saw signs of something, right? You weren't this hard on Saleh. Yeah, because Saleh won 7 games with Zach Wilson. He won 4 with Zach Wilson year 1. That team was way worse than this year's team. Way worse. Look at the offensive line the Jets had in 21. Look at the secondary they had. Look at that team. They didn't start 0-7. They beat 2 playoff teams Saleh's first year with a worse roster. It's not the same thing. They were coming off a 2-win season. The coaching on this team was an abomination. Mike Perez says, wow, this show's really taking a turn. Glenn, JJ, not standing on business. Now Mike buying Bills merch. I haven't spoken to my girlfriend since the playoffs started. She's a Bull fan. I'm truly disgusted. I think it means she's a Bills fan, if I had to guess what Bull means. Mike, hang in there. Sorry about that. That sucks. You're in the raffle for 2, though. Maybe you'll win a Curtis Martin helmet at the end of the show to go with the Pennington signed ball you won a couple of weeks back. Cisco in the house. He's in the raffle for 2. Jake, is BT going to be a regular? Love to see you guys on YouTube together. He could be. I reached out to Brandon because I've known him for a while and saw he was obviously doing some YouTube stuff, and he's a big Jet fan, so I thought it'd be great to get him on the channel. We always bring on people in the off season. We switch up some of the regular guests we have on, so for sure, we'll be on again. I don't like any QB since Mendoza's out of the question, but I like Trinidad around 2 or 3. We need to stick to the pick. Look, I don't mind if the Jets gave up a little bit if they loved Ty Simpson and felt like they needed to move up from 16 to get him, or they had pick 33 if they use that to get back into round 1. But there's a big difference in doing that than investing in Dante Moore, let's say, second overall. That's a huge investment you're making. Financially, that's a big investment. Yeah, you can pick a different quarterback next year. If you make that level of investment, $60 million guaranteed, pretty much, like that's hard to move off of after a year. I mean, it just is. Renzel writes in, let me call in. For those who don't know, Renzel is a guy I offered tickets to. He accepted the tickets, gave him tickets to a Jet game for his family. And then Renzel on Twitter called me a racist because I was critical of Aaron Glenn. That's where we're at. And now Renzel wants to call in and says that I blocked him. I didn't block you. I just read your comment. The link is pinned in the comments. You want to call in, clown face? Call in. You're a turd. And every time I take a crap, I now say I take a Renzel. So thank you for that, Renzel. You've changed the way I Renzel. All right? When I sit down on my squatty potty and I take a Renzel, it's really changed the way I do things. Again, you're not blocked. The link is pinned. You can call in. You'll probably embarrass yourself. And I can't really help you. All right? You do that on your own. More of your calls right now. This man never embarrasses anyone. He's all business.
I got gas right now. You like these, huh? These new gold ones. They look pimp. Little
You look like John Lennon.
Retro 19. John Lennon was the Beatles, my friend. Why did we get this new guy from the Chiefs? Why? Is this how Aaron's gonna be? Stubborn, ignorant, and just said. I think someone once said these words to me in a big way. I think it's called Aaron Glenn is starting to set his ways. When people start getting older, they learn to set their ways. Like, for example, some people have their own way of they just want to quit. They just want to keep smoking until they are, gone, or they just want to throw their life away. Well, if that Aaron Glenn wants to be that way, then you know what? Let him do it that way, because I don't see any change in him at all. He did not do a great job this season. He was very adolescent, very out of date, out of touch. Because the Aaron Glenn that I remembered when he was younger, that was him. This Aaron Glenn we're seeing now is a very bad remnants of him, of a shadow of his former self.
You think so?
He doesn't look like the man he used to be. He's you know what that sign means?
Is that a Tony the Tiger shirt?
Nah, I got this from a thrift store. It's pretty good, but if it was Tony the Tiger, I'd be doing my "They're great." And normally I don't eat Kellogg's, by the way. I'd rather have a bowl of smacks, from Toucan Sam. But
what did you have for food today, Beast?
Just chicken. I went and got some chicken for lunch because chicken was the only way. Because went over to a couple stores, stopped at Menards, got a few things. Went to Food Plus, got a few things. What you see is what you get. That's life. When you get older, times are going to change. And when you get older, times are going to change even further. So I'm learning.
Double says this guy just embarrasses himself every day.
I don't give a shit about that guy. He's another Dunsky with a bad attitude. He's another one. Another fruitcake, low IQ, just as dumb as those protesters are embarrassing themselves on national TV. As a matter of fact, if you want real TV, you want to watch something real. Do you remember? I think your dad might remember this show. A Rifleman, starring Chuck Connors. Do you remember him? Do you remember Chuck Connors?
I know the name, I believe.
Hey, ask your dad that one, because I remember seeing The Rifleman when I was a kid. Even Bonanza was I'm not a cowboy person. Let me just say, Cowboys and cowboy boots are not my thing. My things are jeans, boots, slicked hair, and a classy look. That's what pays the bills. But next season, this is what we're going to do. We're going to spend big, and we're going to go bigger. $3.2 billion in everything. We're going to put 250 in cap space. We're going to change the face forever. We're going to get 8 brand new stars, and we're going to get men with an attitude. We want men with muscle, and I'm talking big boy muscles. Because I remember when going into high school, some of them football players, you know how big their freaking muscles were? They were the size of ham hocks. Those were men with honor, dignity, and a set of balls. What does this team have? What's this? It's an embarrassment. That's shriveled.
Couldn't have said any better, Beast. Well done. $3 billion, lots of ice bats, period. Man with a rake is in the raffle for 1. Thank you, Man with a rake. So this account, Paul, is like AI, I'm pretty sure. He uses like ChatGPT to like craft this answer. I checked all his recent messages. He copy and pastes like the same like 5 things once an episode. So I already banned him because it's just spamming the chat. But he's like a Glenn truther or just trying to use like AI to spam the chat. Jake, you don't understand. Glenn's a great coach. He's building something the right way. Accountability, developing culture, even without perfect personnel. No one developed on this team. No one was held accountable on this team. And the culture sucks ass. But thank you, Paul, for enlightening us on everything Aaron Glenn did in year 1, which was nothing.
We're a field goal team. Last year we had 3 blocks. This year, we had no blocks.
Well, I shouldn't say nothing. The Jets didn't have a field goal blocked all year. That's the stuff that wins. I was watching the games over the weekend, and they didn't talk about any field goal protection. I don't get it. I think that was a missed thing that was not brought up during these games. If the Jets were in the playoffs, they would have fared well because of their field goal protection. That's what it's all about. All about field goal protection. Ladies and gentlemen, home stretch here. If you want in the raffle, now's the time.
Chuck Wagon's always cooking, which it takes. Chuck Wagon's even cooking at the game. Chuck Wagon hates McDonald's, but he's headed home to cook. It's time once again for Chuck Wagon.
Hey, Jake. Brandon was a good caller. I really hope you bring him back in the future.
BT, Brandon Tierney. Great guest. Yep.
It was really surprising to hear someone else's take, kind of defending Glenn, because everybody else, has gone the other way. So it was a nice little different take on Glenn and all that. So well done bringing him into the show. I can't wait for March 11th, the start of the league year. So yeah, hopefully, something good happens in free agency and all that. So, and I think February 26th is the combine. So for once, I'm actually going to be, watching the combine, especially for the quarterbacks and wide receivers. I'm assuming you're going to be watching every position, or are you just going to focus on the quarterbacks?
We are going to do quarterbacks tomorrow, and we are going to start to get into other positions as we go, though.
Okay.
We're going to review the Moore tape from the Indiana game and find out, was it as bad as it looked? So what happened?
I saw that. I saw it live, and it looked pretty bad. But again, I'm watching in real time, not slowing it down and everything. So it looked pretty bad. But again, I know you're going to remember this because I can't remember shit. But Justin Fields, I think in the Rose Bowl, beat someone in the national championship game or in one of the big bowl games. But then the quarterback that lost turned out to be the better pro. So just because Moore did have a shaky game against Mendoza, that doesn't mean that he's not going to be a good, pro down the road. So most scouts is not going to hold that one game against him.
Yeah,
I was going to say I wish I could remember who that
I'll tell you.
quarterback that. Yeah, go ahead.
Justin Fields threw 6 touchdowns against Clemson in the college football playoff.
Yeah. Yeah, so that doesn't always necessarily mean that, one bowl game is going to be the end of your stock. So draft stock. So
I want to make this point because I like Dante Moore not playing well against Indiana. Like, if you're only going to evaluate a quarterback based on one game, you're foolish. Caleb Williams threw 3 interceptions against USC, against Notre Dame when he played for USC his last year. Drake May had 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in a game they lost 39-10 in the ACC championship game. Jordan Love had 0 touchdowns and 3 interceptions versus LSU and 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions versus BYU in the same season. Julian Sayin, the guy that everyone's saying wait till next year to get, scored 10 points versus Indiana, threw 1 touchdown and 2 picks versus Miami, and no one's talking about him not being a good prospect a year from now. So you can't say Moore is not going to be a good quarterback because he didn't play well the other night. That's crazy. My hesitation with Moore is the consensus seems to be he needs a year to sit. I can't have the Jets take that guy 2nd overall because I don't trust the Jets to do what's right for his development.
No. Who do you think the Jets would, if the Jets do trade back and they don't take a quarterback at 2, which team do you think is going to want to move up the most? Would it be Cleveland?
Cleveland, Arizona, Miami, but I wouldn't do business with them. Maybe the Rams that want to come up and get their guy.
You think Arizona would trade, wow, why am I so bad with names? Their quarterback.
Kyler?
Yeah. Do you think they would put him in the mix to trade the 2 and 3?
Maybe, but I feel like they might just move on from Kyler before then.
Well, we could maybe get him for nothing then.
I do think they can get him for a lot less.
Okay. Well, anyways, I'm going to let you go because I have to go and get my daughter from dance. But thanks for taking my call, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Chuck Wagon.
Coaching. It's coaching. Because he can do it. It's just coaching. That's all it is.
That's the guy we'd give Dante Moore to? I don't think so. Sean Horton in the house. Trust me, bro. Reminds me of someone borrowing money and 100% you're not getting that money back. Same feeling I have with Glenn. Oh, stop.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
You'll get your money back. What could go wrong? Come on. What an offseason this is going to be, huh? Why don't we take a look at Jets Reddit real quick? All right, someone earlier. FPP. No, who had the comment? Cheese man, I meant to get to this. Do an ask me anything on the Jets subreddit. Great thread on Jets Reddit today. Someone sent me this. Too many people listen to Jake Asman. Let's see what the great people of Reddit have to say. Jake has lost it. I followed him because he used to defend the Jets. Now it's nothing but hate for Aaron Glenn 24/7. I can handle all the complaining about letting A-Rod go, but even that went overboard. All he does is complain and offer no insight on how to fix it. If you think I don't offer insight how to fix it, sir, you're dead wrong. You are dead wrong. If you disagree, he'll talk to you like you're crazy. Well, if you're defending this head coach, you are crazy, so I guess so. On top of that, he has all his weird... Hey, it's one thing to come after me, but calling my listeners weird, you think this guy is weird, Reddit user?
He better get this from me. That had a kick to it.
Objectively insane comment to make. John says he's doing the content creator thing. A portion of this fan base will eat it up. It's how he gets views. Subscribers, donations, and sponsors. It's also how you lose those things. He's a dweeb. UT Farm, it's football. It ain't that serious. Touch grass, buddy. To be fair, there's a ton of quality coaching candidates on the market. Not sure if anyone will want to come to the Jets, but I hope they're putting feelers out. Okay. He has a point. What does Glenn do well? But I agree about his callers. Definitely an odd crew. All right, that one might be fair. Running games top 10 penalties were way down before practice. Practice squad players brought us back. Wow, what a cope here. Players aren't running to the media to complain. This is the bar. Players aren't running to the media to complain every week. They went 3-14, dude. I'm the crazy one. And everyone's favorite, no block. The fact that he included this is sad. Shout out to Ball Affectionate. What a name. This is absolutely pathetic. At least special teams were good. Oh, my God. After Dante Moore's last game, I have not seen anyone positive about the Jets. Every video I watched from YouTube content creators was the light sucked from their eyes. BJF, Matt O'Leary, New York Media, I think it's NYJ, I think it's Richie, and Jet Central. Who are you listening to that's still positive? See, shout out to CWK. Yes, the coach sucks if you haven't noticed. Who the F is Jake Asman? Why is he a problem when professional teams don't run their organization based on random idiots with a microphone and phone camera? Sir, this is a webcam, okay? What was this one? Where'd it go? He has completely gone off the deep end. His show is one thing, but holy shit, he needs to get off Twitter. Man is literally all day, every day, whining about Glenn. You know, it's funny. All I do is either ask someone who's like upset with the commentary I make, what does Aaron Glenn do well? And then Will Parkinson made the Bernie Sanders meme, so I just respond with this now. But it triggers the Glenn bootlickers so much they can't handle it. They can't handle the truth. That's the problem. Sad. I don't mind Jake Asman, but some of his callers make his show their life. It's like some of them think, I'm busy today, but I have to call on the Jake show just because, and the weird gimmicks are odd. I don't know what type of weird gimmicks you're talking about.
That had a kick to it.
I have no idea who this guy is, but if he hates Aaron Glenn 24/7, then I like him already. It's not this guy's job to offer insight how to fix it. A blind monkey can see how to do that. It's our job as fans and commentators to voice our disapproval of how this organization is run from the top down. Right now, the biggest point of failure is this cut-rate amateur of a head coach we have. Want to know how to fix it? Fire him, since Woody Shore isn't going anywhere, and literally hire anyone else. Not Carroll, come on. McDaniels, McCarthy, I'd say Harbaugh, but that's a fantasy I won't even indulge in. Jake is wow. It's funny. A lot of people are coming to my defense in the Reddit comments here. That's pretty funny. I've never seen that before. Jake is right about Aaron Glenn. If they don't fire him in the next few days, I already view the 2026 season over while the 25 season hasn't finished. There's no hope with Glenn as head coach, and I think Jake does not want to punt the season since we've been off for so long and would like to watch some fun football by this team. Hey, OMFG, email me. I'm sending you a t-shirt. Thank you, sir. Goldwing says, I love Jake's show. He talks about what most Jets fans feel. Excellent X and O's guest and inside scoop. I've been a fan since I was 9. I'm 65. I've had more bad years, but still believe Jake's show might not be for everyone. Just listen to someone else. Being a 56-year fan and someone who played VFW ball all the way to a Division I school, his show is my go-to. Hey, how about that? You know, I thought this was going to be just people bashing me and the show, but the Reddit commentators have been pretty nice here. This is pretty good. This feels like the shit your uncle that messages AI porn bots would post on Facebook. The Jets have done to Jake what they do to all beat reporters, destroy mental health. There's so many podcasts, YouTubers, websites to follow the Jets. Just avoid what you don't. That's my big thing. The people that complain about the show, go watch a different show. I'll be okay without you. That guy's smart. All right, but you got to get over it. Kenny says, I never listened to that guy, but based on this whole thread, maybe I should start. Seems like we agree on a lot of things. Guy does 2 shows a day, 5 days a week, 1 show every Saturday and Sunday, only on the Jets all year long. It ain't an easy topic. He's fine. People need to stop worrying about content creators. It doesn't matter if they criticize the team or praise it. It doesn't change. I definitely think Glenn needs to be fired, so I agree with him, but it's definitely taken on a different level. I don't know why he brings it up 24/7 since Glenn's going to be back regardless. Well, because you can't plan your offseason if you don't have faith in the coach. It influences what you're going to do. Hence, callers keep saying, I don't want Dante Moore because of this coaching staff. Still rocking the 80s commented, Jake should print some I Hate Jake Asman by Watch Every Show t-shirts. This might need to be a new segment. It's become cool to hate on me. That's awesome. What did Saleh say about you ain't got haters, you ain't popping? Then he also said, I'm going to get fired after 5 games. What else do we have here? Anything else good? Oh, this one's a good one. He's one of the only broadcasters who can see the state and the reality of the Jets and cares for the fans as well as the team. Someone's trying to be like Rothenberg before the Jets. That's funny. I used to enjoy the first part of the show with whatever guest he had on and would turn it off when the callers, but now it's a hard pass for me. He's clearly just trying to rage bait for clicks. He's a half-wit Gary. Is that you? Content creator. Just stop listening to him. Oh, my God. This guy's doing the didn't Deanne Campbell start 0-13? Here we go. Killer last name. Amen. What has Karen Glenn done well? Yeah. If you like listening to someone because they always defend something, that's the problem. Get out of your echo chamber. If you don't like his content, then don't listen. Hey, Stone Cold Swag, I recognize that name. He's one of our own in the chat. If you don't like his content, don't listen. I give Jake a lot of credit for bringing people on and giving them a chance to defend AG. Most people, including Mike Tannenbaum, are unable to defend AG given what we witnessed this past season. At the end of the day, AG's coming back. We need to hope it works out. He's a Jet through and through and hope he's able to turn the franchise around. All of those stupid bodily noise and fart noises are beyond ridiculous. Unsubscribe when the season went off the rails in the early going. It's amateur hour. Wow. Carmine, you must be a blast at parties if you don't enjoy one of these.
That had a kick to it.
Or one of these.
Oh.
Or one of these.
I got gas right now. Oh.
Or maybe a traditional. Come on. You're no fun. Whoever the Carmine is, you must be a blast at parties. This is too long to read. Jake is a talented broadcaster. I disagree with extreme hate, but that drives views. I'm not saying he's doing it. Believe me, I read the Jets. If the Jets are winning, that's better for views. I don't know why people don't understand that. Overall, he's a professional broadcaster and great at his job. All right, Jet claps. Well, it's actually been way kinder to me than I thought. Frankie says he doesn't know how to fix it, question mark. He literally has stated multiple times after the postgame press conference the solution to the issue is firing Glenn. Aaron Glenn showed you nothing to suggest he's going to be a good head coach. You fire Glenn and hire an offensive-minded head coach and draft a quarterback, bring in a bridge quarterback and let the rookie develop. Thank you. Sometimes you get hires wrong, and a good owner would be wise to admit he was wrong. Woody knows in his heart Glenn's the wrong hire, but when the Jets start 0-6 next season, that's when I'll fire Glenn. Just because you don't like his solution doesn't mean he hasn't offered one. Amen. Real ones know John B. from Locked On Jets is the best content creator. You know what's funny? I think John B. called for Glenn to be fired too. So suck on that one. What was the last one here? 48 minutes ago. I love Jake, but the nonstop anti-Glenn jokes are overboard. It's every chance he gets. Like, dude, he's not getting fired. Let it go already. I don't know what you're talking about. What type of Glenn jokes am I making? I'm proud of the fact we haven't had a field goal blocked. We made this video to honor that. I'll tell you what. That's way better press than I thought we were going to get. So, all right. Shout out to you, Jets Reddit. We'll make that a regular segment. Caleb says Jake doesn't actually want the Jets to be good. You don't know a thing about me if you think that. Would you just start watching the show this year? If you've watched my show and think I don't want the Jets to be good, you know nothing about me. You mean me, the guy whose grandpa had season tickets at Shea Stadium and my dad saw Namath play as a kid? That's why I'm a Jet fan? Yeah, I don't want them to be good. You're right. Nailed it. I only would double my subscribers with a 9-8 season. But yep, I don't want them to be good. Darth Crypto in the house. We got 2 memberships here. Thank you, Mr. Crypto. We'll put you in. I'm going to count the raffle names shortly here. So last chance to get in. I went long on this second show because we started so early because we went live at 3:30 Eastern for BT today. Bino in the house. Jacob loved BT, but the AG reminiscent. I love the guy is exactly the problem. People can't separate 31 from this awful head coach. Again, if Aaron Glenn played for the Broncos, he'd be out of a job right now. And I love BT, but when he was talking about Glenn, he talked about him as a player and talked about some of the memories he has. I got to separate that. Robert Kraft was able to separate that, and he moved on from Gerard Mayo. That's what a good franchise would do. Forever Ron says, God forbid a white guy gets a little motion. Sean says, trust me, bro. Reminds me of someone. I already read this one, but it was spot on. Mike says, just watch Jake watch a Jet game. He wants them to be good. Yeah, Mike, you've been to watch parties with me. I love it. Faster. Oh, this is Chef Kevin in the house at Fastest Food Reviews. Let's go, Chef Kev. Let the haters hate. You're doing great. Hashtag as maniac. Chef Kev in the house. He's in the raffle for 5. I enjoyed that Reddit thread. That was fun. Hey, shout out to Jets Reddit, all right? Post about this. 0 block field goals allowed. We made this graphic to celebrate the achievement because all of you seem to really think Glenn's doing a great job, and I want to acknowledge the positivity from the year. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do one more call here as we count the raffle names and we say hello to a man who is a legend around these parts.
Hi, how are you? Bruce Hall. That's good.
Where'd you put? Where'd you put your butts?
Lane.
Yeah, I think it's ready by now.
Lane. Train.
Hi.
Hey, Lane.
Yeah, Jake. Hi.
What's going on, Lane?
Hi.
Hey.
Oh.
You're on mute, Lane. Still on mute.
All right, let me try to get it so it works.
I hear you, Lane.
You hear me?
Oh, I hear you.
How do you feel about today's about the Jets? You think that? Oh.
Yes.
Oh, so how do you feel about the mock draft? Do you think that they should start thinking about who they should get?
I think they should start thinking about it. Yes.
And how was the block? How was the thing Sunday?
The block party?
Yeah.
It was crazy. We were drinking out of the hose.
Really? Was it busy? Was Kyle Clifton there or not? Or he couldn't
Kyle
make
Clifton was not there. He had major FOMO.
Oh. Well, I mean, we probably take Mendoza in the draft. Or you take Devin Moore.
You think Devin Moore is going to be a good quarterback?
Well, honestly, I think that, you either get him or the Jets could pick up Lamar Jackson in a trade.
Figure it out, man.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm just helping in the kitchen right now. I'm taking the chicken out of
What's for
the
dinner
oven.
tonight?
I just put some chicken up, and I'm helping Mom.
What type of chicken?
It's mostly herb crusted chicken Yeah.
Is it from Trader Joe's?
No, it's from Fresh Mart. Amazon Fresh.
That sounds tremendous, Lane.
I'd like to meet you. Actually, is the way I like to meet you.
I want to meet you too, Lane. You got to come to our next big event we do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Ask Mom about the next big event. I don't know. I'll see whatever it is. So anyway, the games over the weekend were good. Tonight there's 2 teams playing.
2 teams are in fact playing tonight.
Yeah, it's the let me see who's playing. Let me look in the paper. It is the let's see who's on tonight. Oh wait, yeah, I think the Bills won yesterday. And they beat the Jaguars. Who's playing tonight? Let me see.
Jets versus Giants. It's the Cancun Bowl.
Really? Oh, yeah, the Pro Bowl is coming up. Let's see what's happened. Yeah. Let me see who's on tonight. Oh, I know who's playing. I think I found out. Oh yeah, it's the Texans at Steelers. I would like Pittsburgh to win.
You gonna root for the Steelers?
Yeah, I mean, like they have a chance to win. You know, I don't know who's gonna go to the next round. It starts over the weekend, actually. And who else did your brother come on Sunday?
Oh, he was there.
Oh. Is his sister doing good?
His sister is doing fantastic. But I don't think he has a sister because that would mean I have a sister, which I don't.
Yeah. Oh, so thank you for taking my call.
Well, Lane, thank you for making it.
Hi. Sorry, everybody. See you next call when we talk about sports again.
Man, what a call from the Lane train. What a call. Yankees Rock says Renzo won't call him because he's a coward. He claims that the link is blocked for him or something, even though we posted the link and it's not blocked for him. So, Renzo, you can come up with whatever excuse you want. All I know is you are a clown. And when I get off the air here, I'm going to go take a giant Renzo in your honor. Call in. The link has been pinned. Everyone else can call in. You're not unique. On that note, I'm not waiting around for Renzo because he's a fool. So let's get to the raffle, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, we got to spin the wheel of champions. And to do so, well, hold on. We can't spin it yet. Bucks Fanatic checking in. Jake, put me in the raffle. If I win, let Lane win it. Bucks Fanatic, as I was about to bring on our master of raffle ceremony. Huge super chat. You know what that means? Angry Bowls.
It's inexcusable. You don't make excuses. You gotta fucking care enough where the shit hurts. You gotta fucking care enough where the shit hurts. It gotta fucking mean something to you. It's more than a job. It's your fucking livelihood. How well do you know your job? How well can you do your job? Well, you can't sugarcoat that shit. It was in the fucking excusable, and there's no fucking answer for it. There's no excuse for it. That's what you tell them in the locker room. Look in the fucking mirror.
Thank you, Todd. Isn't it amazing the Bucks fired everyone, but they kept Bowles? Why? At that point, just hire someone different. People would take that job. Baker Mayfield, it makes that job attractive. You got a quarterback in a weak division. I'm not sitting here saying Bowles is terrible. He certainly has been a better head coach than we thought he was. He's not a good head coach. Bucks fans want him out. I get it. You fired everyone else. So I feel your pain, Bucks Fanatic, and I will put you in the raffle. Very kind of you to support the show as always. And if you win and you want Lane to get the Curtis Martin helmet, we will make that happen. Let's go, baby.
Who wanna fly with them Jets?
Ladies and gentlemen, It's time for the Asmaniac raffle. We say hello to our master of ceremony.
You tell me how crazy I am. I just took 4 chair headshots. Hey, brothers! You know who this is? Good old Bruce Campbell, Army of Darkness 1992. Should we say, I think it's time we turn it up a little bit. And just like they all say, come on, who wants a little action? It's 2026 and you know what time it is. Jake Asman's Wheel of Champions is on the air, and it's time to spin the Wheel of Champions. Yeah.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
I mean, that was beautifully well said, Beast. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for a raffle. It features everyone who entered on Show 1 and Show 2 today. So thank you for the support. It was a big prize. I knew we'd have a big audience on a football Monday following the playoffs and all the news with Dante Moore. So we went with a big prize today across both shows. Ladies and gentlemen, only one can win the Curtis Martin signed helmet. If it's you, email me, asmanjake@gmail, your name and address, so I know where to order it to. Ladies and gentlemen, good luck to all, but only one can win. You guys are the best for making it possible to do these as often as we do. But here we go. Your winner of a signed Curtis, my favorite Martin helmet, is... How about this? Derek, the Jets fan. Derek is in the house. Good luck, fellow Asmaniacs. You're the winner, Derek. Hell yeah. Derek, a longtime supporter of the show. He's the winner. Hit it, Joe B.
We are mama way.
How about that, Derek? Congratulations. Give him a hug.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
Derek, email me your full name and address, and I will get the helmet ordered for you. He's watching live. He goes, holy bleep. I love all you guys, man. Love it. Derek, you're a great caller, great listener. I'm thrilled for you. I love that you're watching live. Oh, Renzel's calling me racist in the chat again. Amazing. Renzel, you are such a clown. You won't call in. You're calling. So I sent you tickets to your family, and you have the audacity to call me racist because I'm critical of Aaron Glenn. You are a clown, and you are everything wrong with this country. That if you disagree with someone's opinion, you result to just calling someone racist. Shame on you. You're disgusting. No one likes you. Your family probably hates you as well. And it's unfortunate that they have to have you in their lives. On that note, I got to go take a Renzel. On a serious note, though, congrats to Derek. Thank you for watching. We are back tomorrow. We have Robbie Sabo on in the morning, Joe Blewett in the afternoon. And I'm looking forward to all that and more. You guys are the best. If you haven't watched the full Mike T versus Jake Asman radio segments from yesterday, that's on the channel. So check that out. And you'll hear a fascinating back and forth between Mike and myself. On that note, I will talk to you guys soon. JETS, 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 Jets. And of course, hang in there, Jet fans. Like the video, stay subscribed. We'll talk to you soon. Let's go Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers tonight. Go Jets, everyone.
You know,
Yeah.
I wanted to jump up on you, asshole. She's very attractive.
Yeah.
I wanted to jump up on.
It's becoming a trend.
Hey, look, soy boy. Do I need to remind you where you came from, Estevato, with those ugly up cornrows?
You act like a child because you still haven't hit puberty. When was the last time you took a shower? When are you going to get a new t-shirt on? Did you brush your teeth this morning?
Because I look twice as sexy than your sorry ass. You filthy little degenerate. You're a straight up asshole. Have you ever been in a mosh pit?
Answer a question. Your inability to stay focused whatsoever, combined with being 200 pounds overweight, not being able to get out of your house. Do you think that's related to your diet or not?
You really got some balls, don't you, you little
I'm
bastard?
asking you a question. Do you think it's related to your diet? Yes or no?
I look good. I look just as good. All you're just doing is blowing smoke up my ass, like act like you're God's gift to the United States. When it comes to a fourth down, you punt the ball. On fourth down, what I do, I like to ram it down people's throats. That's my job.
Right, you're a young man. You're the same age as me. I think you're younger than me. You don't need to live this way. You really don't.
I got to deal with one guy that looks like a fruitcake from an Eddie Murphy movie when Eddie Murphy said, "One of them dreadlocks and they some shit lost."
Even though you look like a butterball turkey, I do love you.
What the hell did you say, clown boy?
B-Mac, look at my new hat. B-Mac, I'm a Steelers fan now. Women hate my dude face. Now I'm such a fraud. I'd eat Rodgers' poop right from the source before he wipes.
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane. And if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go, Jets.